Oh, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let me see. Let me make sure that we are live on the Jeremy channel.
Make sure we're live everywhere we need to be, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because if one's good.
Yeah, if one's good, everything else is probably good too. Let's see.
You getting anything showing up over there?
Yeah, it's got I'm muted and the video is showing up over there. So let's see. I cannot hear you right now, but the video.
You can't hear me right now? You should be able to
I can hear you now because I came back to StreamYard. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
So you're up and jamming?
I think I'm up and jamming. I don't need do I need to do anything in that?
So you know that black screen, the YouTube screen that's like all black where the live is?
But it's actually showing the live right now.
Yeah, right inside the black screen, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right, but on your channel, you're not live yet. And so because you set it for like a certain time, right? So it doesn't necessarily go live yet. And yeah. So you should in the upper right, you can force it to go live basically, and that's what we should do. And then
it doesn't have this. There's no force button.
Oh, there's no go live in the upper right, really?
Nope.
Well, that's a little weird. All right. Well,
I mean, we're only talking about 10 minutes, and then it'll
absolutely. So we'll just wait 10 minutes, and then bam. Oh, you've got monetization probably turned on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna get pre-roll ads.
Oh, okay.
But that's okay.
I forgot about that.
But that's absolutely okay.
Robert just messaged me and said I am live, so I guess that's a good thing.
Really? Okay, great. As long as
I've got the button over here that says end stream, so
don't click that.
Yeah, definitely don't click that.
Whatever you do.
All right, well, I'm good, man.
All right, man. Well, cool.
Good. Let me say hey to my boys real quick. Robert and two Roberts, Cody, Patrick. What's up, bud? Good to see you today, Eric, and greetings from the middle of a hurricane. Roger, good to see you, my friend. Stuck, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. And Cody says, the other Robert will be slower tonight. He ate a bunch of pumpkin pie. That's funny, man. I love it. All right, let me pop out of this window, and Mike, you just go ahead and do your
greetings and aloha, guys. What's going on? It's Mike from LiveMyAssOff.com, and Jeremy and I talked the other day, and we thought, hey, we were like going to talk on the phone. Why don't we just talk on YouTube? And actually, I didn't tell you this yet. But yeah, and to say hi to my guys, thank you actually for preempting that. Patrick, Aztec, and Aztec is double dipping. He's basically voting for the Democrats and the Republicans. Typical Aussie.
he's double dipping. I like that.
But Jim Jets, good to see you, man. I'm really stoked you guys have come by. Caesar, always good to see you. The neat thing about Caesar and Gotta Love Thailand, both those guys are actually in Bangkok right now as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the thing a buddy of mine was like trying to figure out some stuff online yesterday. So I hop on his live stream and he's in Davao, Philippines. Have you ever been to Davao?
I did not go to Davao. No,
me neither. But he was, and I thought Cebu was the one that was like locked down, right? Because like all our buddies, not all of them, several of our buddies are in Cebu and they're doing like Jason, Enrique and stuff. They're doing these streams from there, right? And apparently Cebu is like super bad and it's like totally locked down. Well, he's telling me in Davao, he can go out 3 times a week. And he has to have a pass and it's got both him and his wife's name on it. So only one of them can go out at a time. And I'm like, I guess I'm not paying attention because, you know, I was down at the beach 3 days ago, dude, here in Thailand.
Right.
I thought the Philippines was not that locked down. And so like, I'm curious, just maybe you and I should chat about and get some input from the guys there about, you know, what it's like to be in Thailand right now. Because I mean, again, I don't want to like dangle it in front of everybody's face that like, you know, we can go to the beach and like rip our clothes off.
Yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it.
It's a very interesting delta. I mean, it's a significant delta from like, hey, buddy, let's go meet for coffee and grab a bus down to Pattaya for lunch versus I can go out for 30 minutes and grab a banana. So
it definitely is. I had a little interaction with a couple of our buddies from the Philippines yesterday. Chatting with them and chatting with them about some various topics I won't mention. But
okay.
we they seem to be under, I thought it was bad over here. Like I thought it was really, really, really bad. Like things that were going on. And we were being sort of locked in and that kind of thing. And then I started looking at the Philippines. And as most times, what happens to me when I compare Thailand and the Philippines, they're talking about these general lockdowns and quarantines and the extended or whatever with one of them worse than the other one. One of them you can go out and the other one you can't or something like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is like a blessing, right? This is like a blessing to be in Thailand right now, because there was only a short period of time, if I recall correctly, Mike, that where we could still travel within our province, but we could not venture from one province to another. So correct. It's like, being here is like the greatest thing ever, because they eased that restriction like a long time ago. And
it seems like a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's just been about the only place the only real cities that like locked themselves down. I know Pattaya did, and also I believe at some point Phuket may have, if I'm not.
Oh yeah, well Phuket, and then they they literally opened up their airport for 2 hours and then closed it. I mean, this is back, a month or two ago, right? Which of course it's funny because it was a month or two ago, which seems like forever ago. Right. I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, I think it's probably a victim of the current media, which is, if it's not right in my face, then it doesn't occur. It's not real,
I understand 100% on that one.
But man, because I mean, I could not get down to Phuket until I believe July 1st. I believe July 1st it opened up. You used to have paperwork to get over the bridge, even to take a bus and all this. And then you probably saw, you're a little bit more up on the news than I am. I think it was either yesterday or the day before, Thailand was rated number 1 in the world as far as dealing with this, as well as, Yep. Do you remember where that came? It was like a Malaysian report, wasn't it?
There was a Malaysian report, but it's also been indicated numerous times because, the Thai government's they're going to take that one and make sure everybody knows,
We're amazing. Just ask us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And they've taken sites from, like, I listen to Ben, twice a day. Every time he puts out a video, even if it doesn't have anything to do with me, I listen to it.
Just every hour.
Yeah. But but there's a lot of information in there, and I listen to him, and what I do is, if his topic doesn't have anything to do with what I'm concerned about, then he'll usually say, well, this article comes from the Tiger.com, or this article comes from the Bangkok Post, or this is from the Royal Gazette. And so what I'm doing is I'm building my database of where go-tos, right, when I need information. So they've been touting that for, since the rankings came out. Whatever place it was that came out with those rankings, the Bangkok Post, I'm pretty sure the Gazette, and the Tiger,
Phuket News,
Phuket News. I'm pretty sure all of them ran with that one.
Yeah, it seems like it's a duplicate, right? I mean, what is the other one? Cowside English that he references, right?
Oh, yes, it does. Cowside English.
If you guys don't know, we're talking about Ben Hart from Integrity Legal. If you've never seen that channel, and because I'm sure you get this, I get this on my channel, and I understand why. You and I are, we're not dumb, and so they're looking for our opinion, potentially some data. But it's like, hey, how can I do this? Meaning, how can I do this? Insert legal thing here, And, you know, I can give you my opinion, but having not taken the bar, you know, it's like, well,
exactly.
Have you met with him before?
I have been to his office. I have not met him in person.
Okay.
So
I've met him.
I've spoken to him probably 3 or 4 times on the phone.
Nice.
But I've worked with some of the Thai attorneys that he has.
That's smart.
Working for him. Yeah.
I met him like about 2 weeks ago. He's very tall. Like I'm 6'2". He's probably 6'4", 6'5".
Really?
And you know, I mean, he's you know, he's an adult, right? And I could tell I wasn't going to really bruise his ego, but he comes out, he's like, and I mean, literally, it was so funny. I'm like, wow, I probably shouldn't have said that. First thing I say, hey man, good to meet you. Wow, you're a lot taller than you look on camera. I'm like, oh, he's going to give me free legal advice now, loser. You know, and I lobbed that over the net. But it was great because. Go ahead.
He seems like a really nice guy. I was just going to say, he seems like a really nice guy, very helpful. But go ahead.
There's that. Plus, he's got the skills, right? I mean, I'm a really nice guy, but I don't have a clue about the law, you know?
Right.
But yeah, it's a trifecta, right? I mean, he's got the skills. He's a Thai citizen, so he can actually do a lot. But then, of course, he's you know, schooled in the United States. So anyway, so to your blessing thing, yesterday you were talking a little bit about the you know, obviously travel, and you know, it was a long weekend a while ago, which I understand. I totally get that you like took advantage of the fact that you can sleep. You have to go to work every day.
I did. I recorded one video. Like I recorded one video while I was out and about.
Right.
During that time, yeah.
But what I wanted to, because you talk a lot about your camera.
You're gonna have Mike. Hang on one second, because it
ahead.
says on my channel, it says waiting for DoMoreLife. So does that mean I need to go back to my live and stream and
go to the black thing and or the black screen and let me know? It should be.
There's no
video. But is there video there?
Yeah. Hold on. There's video. Let's see. Oh, hey guys! I see the live stream or the pop-up window over here. What's up, everybody? Sorry I didn't say anything to you. I have to be live, dude. I don't know, but I'm not getting any like under the analytics. It has 0 concurrent viewers and.
Okay, well, hold on. I thought you said you were, so stand by. Okay, so if I go to your channel, the first video that shows up is us on there. It's got the live underneath it. So put it this way. You are live on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
You may just not be live with the pre-advertised video, if you understand what that means.
Okay. Aztec's explaining that to me. He says, Jay, your URL is different to what your premiere was. I had to click on the URL for my notification bell. Okay.
You know what? I know exactly what happened. Remember how you made the thing? You made the you made the video, and then you said you deleted it.
Yep.
And then you made a new one, and then you gave me that new key.
Yep.
I think I am streaming to this new one, and you shared the old URL that doesn't. But regardless, people got notified. You're live.
We're still getting notifications, right? I mean, everybody still. I'm getting people in the chat, so we're good.
Yep. I
see and hear you. Okay.
Yep,
So I'm at StreamYard. I just need to pop this chat out. Yes, everyone, please. Thank you for hitting the like button on my channel. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to be popping back and forth into the chat, guys. So hey Steve, and if I miss your statement or whatever today, just bear with me, guys. I want to say a quick thank you to Mr. I can't say his name, but we all know who he is, or I know who he is anyway. I can't see Mike right now either.
I know who he is.
Yeah, but I know who he is for a $20 PayPal.
Ding, 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 ding. Win now.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you so very much, sir. We over on my channel, we try to do a $100 weekend PayPal. So We had 10 yesterday. That makes 30, and I am very excited about that. That's a good start. But Mike, I am so sorry for having to interrupt you, man. You were talking.
No. Well, right.
I apologize.
If you don't like poke me with a sharp fork, then I will. Yes. But you know what? So one of the things too, guys, on the bottom, one of the things, Jeremy, if you don't know, we're using StreamYard right now. But what I thought, because you can't just click on that crawl, is I made a really short URL. So if you guys just want to go to Doodly/do more PayPal, that I would submit will be a lot easier, unless you're on his live stream, in which case you can click on the URL that a lot of your guys will share anyway.
Yeah, that they are stuck in Florida right now. Just click the PayPal and said, "Help Jeremy get out and share Thailand with us." And that's what, man. That's what I want to do more than you could possibly imagine. Stuck in Florida, more than you can possibly imagine, brother. Because I got a camera just waiting to be tortured by me.
Do you mind getting that and showing it to us? Because I don't know like what $70,000 buys in Thailand. Well, I do. It depends what city I'm in and how 70,000 baht. Yeah. It depends how single I am, and it depends what city I'm in. Right now that Gracie's in my life, 70,000 baht goes to, sadly, really, no, I'm just kidding. Very appropriate things, because you guys, right? I mean, at the end of the day, many, actually, maybe not many, some at least of you guys that come over to live my ass off came over from Jeremy's channel and came over from the day that Jeremy brought Rike and I on his channel. So first of all, dude, thank you for that.
Oh, you're more than welcome, dude. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and getting to know Rike even more.
For sure.
It truly has. It's just been incredible.
So let me ask you this. Hold on. Did you do an unboxing?
I did not do an unboxing, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I've never had a flagship model camera before, ever in my life.
Okay.
And this is Olympus's flagship model. Like the only other one that you can get that's better than this is not really better. It's just bigger, and it takes more pictures with a better frame rate. That's about it. It's a specialty camera. It's made for sports and that kind of thing. So, what was your original question, Mike? I'm sorry.
Did you do an unboxing? Because, like, I mean, I don't know. You've talked about it, but I'm like, I think you used the word Olympus, but I don't know anything about this camera. And in my experience, people that watch YouTube videos, maybe it's just me, they're like, "Hey, dude, what equipment do you use?" So
sure. Let me put the filter on here, and I'll show you guys everything.
See if I can make.
That I can.
I'll make your screen certainly a little bigger.
Okay.
I mean, I suppose if I had no.
If you had no, you went away, Mike. Come back.
Sorry.
I think Mike is banished on us temporarily. There he is.
It removes my audio, which is detrimental to my ego. Joseph says 70,000 baht stick. Chicken and sticky rice. Yeah. So without the strap, the body is pretty small, as you guys can see. It's a micro 4/3 camera. What does micro 4/3 mean? I don't know what that means.
That is the size of the sensor. That's the size of the sensor in the camera. So right here, I would open it up, but that's a big time no. Basically, this camera will do pretty much anything I want it to. It'll shoot cinematic 4K. So if you've been watching the some of the new YouTubers that shoot this longer, it's like 16:9, but it's longer. The videos, right? The ratio compression. This will do that. It's a weird ratio, and it's a certain function on there. It'll shoot regular video 4K up to 30 frames per second. It'll shoot 1080 which is 1080p, which is what most videos are in anyway. It'll shoot that in at 120 frames per second.
120.
So you can get some really creative slow motion. That's why I can't wait to take this thing out on the road and be able to travel Thailand. You know, I heard somebody comment the other day about, he said he was going to travel Thailand, or it would have been okay if he just said he was going to travel Thailand and live a life as a shitty teacher and only travel Thailand. But no, he said he's going everywhere, this, that, and other. Look, man, patience. Okay.
Yeah.
Patience.
Right.
Like patience. Yeah, Charlie. That's an OMD M1 Mark III. Yes, sir. But basically, it'll shoot in terms of pictures. It shoots. It has a 20 megapixel sensor, which is more than sufficient in terms of megapixels for what I do. Because most of what I do goes on social media, and you could literally take. Thanks, Charlie. You could literally take a 5 megapixel camera and take most of the pictures. That
how big is the physical sensor? Is it like about 1 inch by 1 inch?
No, 1 inch sensor. It's actually just a little bit bigger than a 1 inch sensor, to be honest.
Okay, so it's big. Now, here's the reason I ask: is I was watching this guy and I was thinking about. I mean, a lot of people, I guess, use the. Oh God, I can't. It's like the Mark 7 or something like that. It's a very common vlogging camera, it seems, for YouTube people.
Oh, you mean the Sony Mark 7?
No, I think it's a Canon. Anyway, regardless, he was talking about that as a decent camera for video, right? And then obviously the camera you have takes excellent still photos, but obviously you're going to be using it for video. And his comment was, these larger cameras, while they take very high quality video and stills, if you take a video that's like over an hour long, it really heats up. What's the longest video you've done on this? And were you even distracted slightly by the temperature of the body?
I have shot a
Thanks, Charlie.
minute.
Canon G7X was what I was thinking of. Thank you, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have shot 4K. It has a limiter built into it. I think you can turn it off in this camera, but it needs a firmware upgrade to do so.
Okay.
But it has this one doesn't overheat. Like there's no overheating that goes on in this camera, and you can shoot 4K all day. The only thing about it is you just can't shoot slow motion. So to answer Carl's question, hey Carl, good to see you again. Hey Frank, good morning, buddy. And that I consider the GH5, GH6, yes, but they are not good cameras for picture taking. They are also a 4/3 camera. That's true. So let me tell you my reasons, because that's a good question. Panasonic makes the GH5 and 6, which are micro 4/3 cameras that are very good movie cameras, like making movies. But Olympus has a hidden gem, because Olympus will do them both, and do them both very, very well. Like I can shoot without looking at the menu, I can shoot video at 1080 completely raw, or I can shoot it all I, which is our compression ratios, which are very high compression. With this thing shooting the 4K cinematic, that really weird ratio that comes up, it shoots at 200 megabits per second. So, yeah.
How big's your memory card?
Yeah, well, luckily I have 2 memory card slots, and one of them is a USH1, one is a USH2.
So you're doing like 64 gig?
Yeah, I'm doing most of mine are 64 gig. I only use SanDisk. For you guys that are interested, I only use SanDisk, and I only use the Extreme Pro version, or the Extreme Pro version of a USH2 card, because this camera will hold 2 SD cards of any size, of the 256, and the top card is a USH2 card. So for the USH2 card, that just means it can record faster and it can unload faster. So there's not going to be a buffer rate. As far as buffer, for those of you who knows about cameras, as far as the buffer goes on this camera, it'll shoot 12 frames per second mechanical, and it'll shoot 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter, which is also silent. The viewfinder is about 3 million dots, I want to say, and it is OLED, so it keeps up very well. Very nice viewfinder on it. Of course, I have the articulating screen that I can vlog from.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When I need to, which is a huge thing. And here's the biggest thing about this camera. So this camera by itself, the sensor sets on a 5-axis image stabilization system,
like a gimbal.
Yeah, the sensor sets it'll move 5 ways, and the camera will control the movement. So it'll give you by itself without a lens that has optical stabilization on it. Just the sensor shift by itself will give you 6 shutter stops of vibration. That's why when I vlog, I hold the camera like that. I mean, out like this with my hand. There's no need for a gimbal. Yeah, there's no need for a gimbal. You can also they also have an electronic on it as well. So you can use usually you use this when you use a wider angle lens, but you can use the IBIS or in-body image stabilization, which is what I was talking about, and you can tack the digital onto it. So you can use them both at the same time. Now, the cool thing about Olympus is that, and why I wanted this camera so much, the potential this thing has is because you can take that same stabilization also applies to cameras. So when it's in camera mode, so you can hold
still photo. Okay.
Yeah, for a still photo, like if you want to take a long exposure shot and you need 3 seconds or whatever, you can hold this thing for 3. You roll back on the shutter or set the shutter,
and it's
for 2 seconds. Click the button, hold it like this right here, and I guarantee you can put a 3-second shot and hand hold it. I've done it many times.
It's unbelievable. Rad.
You can take you can put it in pro capture mode, which means as soon as you hit the shutter button for autofocus, it starts taking pictures. And then when you squeeze, it's still taking pictures. But in case you miss something at the beginning or end, it'll catch it at the beginning or end. Then it's got the high res mode. So in high res mode, you get 2 options for this camera. You can do it on tripod, which will give you an 80 megapixel picture, or you can do it on handheld, which will give you a 60 megapixel picture. And what it does is it takes the sensor and it shifts it a half a pixel 8 times within within whatever times your shutter speed is. So if you're shooting at 1/250th of a second, then in 250th of a second, it's going to close itself back up. And finally, something that makes this thing very well. There's more, but one thing that really stands out on this is the weather sealing. You could put this thing in the freezer and leave it for a week and bring it back out, thaw it out, and it'd be fine.
What about water?
I mean,
we'll dunk it in.
Water, water just sheds off of it like nothing.
Wow.
That's one reason I stayed with the Micro Four Thirds. This is a portrait lens. It's a 25 millimeter lens, but if you know anything about Micro Four Thirds, you know you have to take in the crop factor. So the crop factor is 2. It's actually a 50 millimeter lens. This is a 1.8 aperture. So in terms of depth of field, you're going to get a 3.6 look, but it's still 1.8 for this lens. So it lets in the same amount of light as 1.8 on a full frame. But to get the equivalent of what you, like if I had a 50, and this had a full frame sensor, 50 millimeter, I would be shooting the depth of field look at 3.6 on full frame camera would look the same as 1.8 on this, because you got to multiply everything times 2.
Does it come with more than one lens? It looks like you had another bigger one there. Like
I had. So I bought that lens with the camera because I knew there was going to be some nice times for some portraiture, and there has been already. I've taken some nice portraits. But this is the water. That lens is not waterproof and weather sealed. Okay. It's made for portrait stuff. This lens came with the first Olympus camera I bought, which was the EM5 Mark II, which was a great camera because every video that you saw, virtually every video that you saw in the Philippines was recorded on that camera with this lens. Okay. So it has, typical hood. It's 12 to 40, which gives you the same range as 24 to 80 on a 35 millimeter camera. And the cool thing about it is you can snap this little thing back like this, and then you can autofocus yourself as focus peaking on it. So when you're looking at the screen at the back, it'll start flashing red what's in focus and what's not in focus. It's very it was I waited a long time to get this camera, and the guys on my channel they really stepped up big time to help with the travel fund. First, before we did the travel fund, we were kind of splitting the difference in doing the travel fund and the camera fund, because this camera will last me 5 years if I take care of it and if I need it to. Right. And as you can see, it's been well taken care of. And there are so many more features. The only disadvantage to having this camera is low light performance. That's the only disadvantage. But
can't you just get a different lens?
You can get a different lens. Yeah. It's like the 1.8, right? That's going to be brighter for sure. But you'll never get over the Micro Four Thirds, because even if you get the big pro lenses, like the 85 millimeter that look like this, that are weather sealed, and this is obviously a zoom lens, but if you get the prime lenses like that are built, they're 1,000 USD, 1,100 USD, and they go down to 1.2, so you're still looking at a 2.4 aperture on a full, 2.4 depth of field. On a full frame camera, which is still not bad. That's not bad at all. But because the sensor's much smaller than a full frame sensor, you're not going to get the bokeh that you would normally get. You will get a blurred background, but you just won't get the bokeh and stuff. So good question. And I use my little Rode mic, by the way.
You got the Rode, yeah. I got an Andor, and I've actually been pretty pleased with it. It's really just the limitations of the phones that I plug it into. Obviously, that has an external mic jack, right? It's got 33.5 millimeter jack.
Oh yeah, it's got a 30. It also has a headphone jack too, so you can monitor volume levels while you're recording. That's what I'm saying. Make no mistake about it. Panasonic's closest competitor to this camera is the G9. Okay, and it doesn't just the stabilization alone, the difference in stabilization is enough for me to go with this camera. That's why I waited on this. Yeah. And I really held out a long time before I bought it. But on the sides, you were talking about what it has. So we have
move it HDMI. To the center. There you go. Yeah. So
sorry about that.
We have there we go. Cool.
I don't know if they can see it, but we have HDMI and USB or USB-C port right there at the bottom, and then we got this is the headphone jack.
Okay.
That headphone jack, and then here is the microphone jack. So it sits on top of it, and it's hard pressed to find a video camera at this price point with a headphone
with all the
jack
features
and
So the specs are obviously very impressive, and that's what everyone sort of compares many things of technology. Like, I've got this much RAM in my phone. I've got the megapixels. I mean, do you use that? I mean, like your videos you're shooting outside that you're going to upload to YouTube. Are you shooting those in anything? Are you shooting those in 4K?
No.
I was going to say, because like most people I would submit are, they can't really tell the difference.
I've gotten to where I can tell the difference a little bit, but
sure.
What I'll probably do, Mike, and this is my plan anyway, because I haven't shot in 4K on the camera at all. Okay. And so what I'm going to try to do is I have a members only video for my channel members that I'm going to record. My plan is directly after this video, and I'm going to record it in 4K. Okay. Because it's going to be very short, and I'm going to record it in 4K, and then I'm going to see how my computer, my aging computer, handles that 4K, even with Adobe Premiere. I mean, I have professional software to do it with, but are my internals up to par? Is the is the question? Yeah.
Well, that's dude. Thank you, because seriously, I've been watching. So I would submit it. Maybe at least one other person was curious about the gear. So thank you for that. And to the point of travel, I've been seeing you get a lot of comments. I've been getting a few too. But this one that Patrick gave, or that Patrick asked rather, let me make sure. Oh, yeah. Has there been an update on visas? What's the speculation on travel from the U.S.? Any ideas? And I know that that's something that we both talk about quite a bit. Have you heard any updates on visas coming into Thailand?
Let me answer one comment, then I'll get it. Looking over here, Carl says, nicer bike, nicer camera, or more for the bar fund. Decisions. Hell, I got to get there first. Well, Carl, I don't know if you know this or not, but I don't drink. So, like, I'm not exactly sure what you meant by that comment, but Aztec says, how much is the darn thing? The body with the lens cost me 67,000 baht. So whatever that is in today's currency, it was well over. It was like 21, almost 2,200 US. And the same month that I did that, I also purchased my insurance, which is really good AIA insurance.
AIA is good, yeah.
Emergency and hospitals and doctors, all that cost me 34.5 roughly. So about 1,000 baht, a little over excuse me,
$1,000.
a little over $1,000 there. And I had to drop all that in the same month. So it my pocketbook looks different, but my hope is very, very high because I've got a camera that'll literally do anything I want it to do. I mean, literally.
That's awesome. Now, are you so what are your plans for this thing and to the point of the visas? Because I have not heard any update on visas. I mean, and again, if you're asking that question relative to yesterday, it's 0.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a relative question. But yeah, give me some of your knowledge on the visa situation updating.
All right. So here's what I heard this morning. Exactly. I'm not a I don't know how would you call it?
Ladyboy?
Verbatim. Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely not that.
Just throwing it out there.
Do you know how many years of testosterone I had to have been pumping myself full of to have this?
Taking hormone replacement for years, Mike.
I mean, coming out the womb, I would have had to been, yeah. But anyway, so here's the visa situation. First of all, get your visa status straightened out before the 26th. They're trying to give you plenty of time before September 26th, because if you wait and go to 26th, then you're probably going to end up in overstay, or you're going to be screwed if you don't have anywhere to go. Make sure you make your plan. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it today. I can't stress that enough, because the closer it gets, the more and more people are going to be like, ooh, I want to try this. Ooh, I want to try this. Think about this. Thai government's not like they used to be. You don't really get to try a whole lot of things. They either say yes or no, and that's pretty much it. Now, in terms of the traveling from the U.S., it's going to be a while, I think. And here's why. They just announced this morning that even though the visa situation, the visa amnesty, the whole process closes at our own September 26th, I should say. But the 90-day check-in, the TM47, like that you sign on your passport for your address, you still have to do that up until August 31. So I don't know exactly how. You can watch that, Mike. You could probably make more sense out of it than I can. That was another Ben Hart video. That this morning when he was talking about that, he was, and then he explained why it was a good thing. And I think what he's doing, I think what he meant was, there are people that are going to transition into, like for me, for example, non-B visa, right? I have to do a 90-day report every 90 days. Okay, so check in. So people like me, like if I was in that situation and I had gotten stuck here on a tourist visa, but I was trying to go to work, and I apply for a non-B visa, and I have all the school paperwork and everything, and they agree to give me the non-B visa, then I need to make sure, if they gave me the non-B visa back in July or whatever, I need to make sure that I keep my 90-day current. I think that's what they were. I think that's what they were getting at.
Now there is some discussion. I see this here from Todd regarding the B visa. Don't you also have to have a work permit, or can you just get in on a B? I mean, again, you need to have the insurance and the fit to fly and all that stuff, get approval from the consulate. But let's say visa wise, if you've got a B visa, is it not a requirement that you also have a work permit, or is that not a requirement?
You're going to have a work permit at some point.
But to get in, like right now, in other words, I don't believe you just can get in on a B visa. I believe you need a work permit as well. You don't.
Well, you can do two things. At first, Thailand said you had to have a work permit with the visa, right?
Okay, that's what I thought. I guess that's what I'm referring to.
Now what they're saying is because schools are opening up and they don't have any teachers anymore. They're saying, they're saying you can apply. If you're in Thailand, you can apply for the non-B visa in Thailand.
Got it.
And once you apply for non-B visa and are approved, then the work permit comes about. It can be anywhere from 3 days to 3 weeks, depending on where you're at in Thailand, right? So you can't just fly into Thailand right now, to the best of my knowledge, with a non-B visa. But you could with a non-B visa and a work permit, or a certified letter of intent to hire, from a school or other employer, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is basically what I had to do a long time ago when I made visa run, but that was pre all this stuff. And be careful when you're on a non-B visa, okay? Because there's a lot of little bitty things that you can really hang yourself from when you're on non-B. Like, when your job's over, you literally, like, if you get fired, you have to go take your visa and turn it in that day, and your work permit. It's supposed to be, you have to cancel it in person, right? And then sometimes the school will cancel your. I hadn't been fired, so I don't know exactly, but sometimes the school will cancel your visa. But if you leave on bad terms, that kind of thing, they're probably not going to cancel your visa, which means you're going to have a canceled work permit. It gives you, which will cancel your visa when you cancel the work permit. Because if you don't cancel the work permit, then you get fined just like you do if you were to overstay on a visa, to the best of my knowledge. If you, because that cancels the visa. So you're even though you have a passport that has a B visa in it, you're on overstay, and because the status is no longer legal, it's been canceled in the system. Now, the other thing I would warn is, please understand, when you come to Thailand, whether you get your B visa at home or whether you come in on a tourist visa and then make a visa run to get a B visa, that first B visa, if you're going to be a teacher, is going to be a 90-day B visa. Okay, it's not a 1-year B visa; it's 90-day. So the reason they give you that, Mike, is because that gives the school the time to prepare all the paperwork for the actual B visa, 1-year visa.
Got it.
Also gives them a little time to see if you're actually going to work there or not.
Trial period, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. And then you go back and you get your you go back in and you get your 1-year non-B visa. They'll let you know before I think mine was ready in like 45 days or something. So it didn't even take like half the time. And then I got the 1-year B visa, applied for work permit, got the work permit, and all of that took, I don't know, maybe from start to finish, from visa run to Malaysia to the time I got my work permit was probably 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that.
And your school is meaning your employer is doing this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The only thing I had to do was just march in and out of the country once.
This whole time,
and go to immigration a bunch of times.
Oh, a bunch for this.
Yeah, I had to get had to get my diploma needed to be certified again. Apparently, I made a mistake on the first time it was certified.
When they printed it on Kosan Road.
No. I didn't get. There was something I didn't get that I should have had. I think it was I think I took a typed affidavit up there, which is what they're looking for the diploma anyway, you know. Right. And but I didn't get it witness signature on it or something. It was something. It was something crazy like that.
Now this whole time, does the school and or immigration, are they in possession of your passport?
They're only in possession of your passport for the time that they're getting the non-B ready. So as they're getting the non-B ready, they will have your passport. But to the best of my knowledge, you only leave the passport overnight, I think.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong on that, Mike. I'm gonna be totally honest, because it was this time going through it was so much different than it was in Rayon. It was I was shocked, man. I was shocked.
You're talking about doing it here in Bangkok.
Yeah, doing it in Bangkok, I was shocked at how much different it is. Not better or worse, just different. Mm-hmm. And gotcha, Carl K. Sorry, reading a comment from Stuck in Florida.
Do it.
Thanks, man. I understand Carl was talking to himself. I appreciate that. Hang on, Roger said something here. Let's see here. What we got? Roger says...
Just so you know, guys, I am not ignoring your comments at all. I'm watching them and seeing, and hopefully, like Jeremy and I are actually talking about a lot of the content that you're going back and forth with, but I really appreciate it. But yeah, I definitely want to get to some of Jeremy's comments from his guys.
Yeah, well, Gordon's Alive says his camera takes good pictures. I'm sure it does.
Inside joke.
Let's see. No, that's just Gordon. Carl says that's good to know. I heard the G5 was excellent for videos and assume the same for pics. Thank you. I'm looking at buying something next year. My OnlyFans accounts need. Oh my God, needs everything it can get.
Okay, dude, OnlyFans. You get this, right? So I'm doing this live stream. I don't know when it was, like a couple weeks ago, maybe last week. And some guy, I had never heard of this. I'd never heard of OnlyFans. And he says, "Hey, Mike, do you have like an OnlyFans page?" And I'm like, I don't know. So I like open up the website and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know, dude. It looks like it's a lot of girl. And then I realize it's, basically like a porn. And like, you guys.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it amounts to. It's just a place for. Yeah, you pay monthly, and I looked at it one time, but I just can't see spending $12.99 on this person a month, and $9.99 on this person when you have the hub that's
yeah, right, exactly.
That's pretty much free. Well, over on my channel, Assassin's Creed History has got a decent question here, a very good one. It may take both of us to answer, Mike. He says, do you think it is the end of multiple entry visas? Due to this situation, all those multiple entry visas become useless. My advice would be not to use a job as a method to stay longer in Thailand. Well, quite the contrary. But without my job, I would not be able to stay in Thailand, and I want to stay in Thailand. Right. So as long as I stay gainfully employed and do the right thing at my employer, then I don't have to leave Thailand, and I have no desire to leave Thailand. So, do I think it'll be the end of multiple entry visas? I think Thailand will always have some kind of multiple entry visa. I don't think you're going to, like my non-B visa is a multiple entry visa if I wanted to be. I just have to go get the re-entry permit.
You have to get a re-entry permit for your B visa?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because I'm getting, well, mine's going to be 2 years, and then it's got a whole bunch of stuff attached to it. But Yeah, it's multiple. As far as the question of it'll go away, I mean, if you're referring to, these long stay visas, like visas that are basically good for a year, I can't ever see those not being multiple entryable.
Oh, no, me either.
But as far as like, the tourist visa or something like that, if that ever starts working again, which of course it will, then one could argue that it could potentially be a separate version with a different cost structure. I mean, right now, you're looking at 60 days, right? But I mean, yeah, it's multiple entry in those 60 days. And then, of course, you can extend it an additional 30. But honestly, I mean, I think the world pretty much, most countries will provide the one entry and then the multiple entry. And again, it's just based on revenue generation, really.
I agree. I agree with that. And I'll tell you why, is because I think this country in particular is, they have put a what's the word I'm looking for? A premier. They have put the highest priority of being no virus, right, in the country.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Ahead from the economy, everything.
Yeah, it's in front of everything, literally everything.
Yes.
So this country in particular, I don't know enough about the economic situation on this side of the globe. Like, I don't know how countries borrow and trade and that kind of thing in this part of the world. But Thailand is going to, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know where they're going to borrow from and that kind of thing. But unless they're sitting on, a fortune somewhere, there's going to be a significant loss in GDP, and they're going to be looking and they will get creative. Thailand will get creative. They always do.
Sure.
They will come up with some creative packages to bring some of that GDP back. And being in Thailand, this is nothing against Thailand at all. It's just the way the country runs, the culture. Don't be surprised if what you hear today changes tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, that's just goes on without saying.
I think that there's something to be said for them being in the stage they're at, meaning they, like, for example, like the infrastructure, like if you go to the MRT or the BTS and it's a fairly new station, they have the map of what it's going to be. Like once they get all of the trains in, once the red line's going up to Don Muang, and once the pink line is going to be around, once the BTS is extended all the way to friggin' Cambodia someday, probably. But I mean, in the next 5 to 10 years, first of all, I think in the next 10 years, Bangkok is going to be if not one in the top 5 best cities in the whole world, because they have, I mean, even if, like, because you travel too, but I mean, you're like cruising down the freeway, and after you're outside of Bangkok, 20 minutes, there's construction. There is new construction. There is improvement. You're like on this freeway that you're like, okay, well, this is fairly new. And then you look to your right and there's like another one they're building. It's like, what are you the train tracks, when I went down to Prachap Kurikon, there's one lane, basically. There's one rail line, and then they have like the double where like the train can cruise over and wait for the other one coming. And they're going 2 lines all the way down. Right. And, so you can do bike both. And so there's all of that. And then but what's crazy for me is all of this infrastructure is increasing. Now, I get that, like, right now, there's not a whole lot of more people coming here to live here. Like, no one's going, but the point is,
nobody's coming in.
All of these other areas of infrastructure are increasing, but my internet isn't getting slower. My electricity is not going off more. The trash is still picked up regularly. I mean, all of those other things that I think a lot of other countries and maybe even big cities seem to really struggle with when they're like successful in one area, and then they completely forgot about the fact that they might need water, and it just seems like they're really like they have their act together. It's imperfect. Every country is, even the best one, however you label it. But I mean, it's really neat being here watching all. I mean, I don't know about you where you live, but around me, dude, there are cranes everywhere. I mean, it is building.
It's the same way here.
Is it? Okay. Are
Yeah,
you in
they're
Bangkok
constantly.
province? Or are you across? Are you still in the Bangkok province?
No, I'm in Bangkok province.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in Bangkok province, definitely. I want to welcome Rupert. Thank you so much for tuning in, good sir. I took a look at your comment, and that B word, YouTube has a big problem with for some reason, and that's why one of my moderators deleted your comment, sir. But thank you very much for coming in. It's always good to see you, Rupert, and I'm glad to have you in here. Now, back to Mike's point with the construction, it was like, I mean, it's unbelievable at the amount of infrastructure they're pouring in here. Like, I'm so much more thankful that I moved. I was thinking about this last night, man. I had a real, like, just hardcore thought session. And I was like, what would have happened if you would have stayed in the Philippines? If all the bad if all the bad stuff wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah.
And you would have just stayed in the Philippines, what would have happened? And it would have ultimately been bad regardless of if all the other stuff was gone, right? So I was thinking to myself about just how fortunate I am to be in a place that allows me to travel, work, and we're amidst other countries that are seemingly not so fortunate. And definitely, I couldn't. You couldn't unless I absolutely had to, and there was no other place for me to go. I would not go back to America right now for any reason.
Oh my God, it is. I mean, I can't watch it. It's sad, man. I mean, it's just like one of my best friends is suffering from a very slow death.
Yes, exactly.
And there's nothing I can do about it, I can't like write my congressman every hour and expect some ROI to that letter.
Right.
And, I'm not going to start Molotov cocktailing a CVS. I don't really think that adds value. And, but it's very interesting, yet portions certainly of the stock market are just like, that's going crazy. So who knows what that's related to? But the point is that I can't either. I cannot. Again, the time I would get on a plane is if my parents were in bad health. If I needed to get back there, right? Family.
Yeah. Right.
And, but even my mom, yesterday she said, because right now it's great. Right now in New England in August, it's awesome. It's basically Bangkok weather, 110%, humidity. But, come October, it's like, oh, good. Look, the first snow of the year. Yeah. Well, the novelty of that wore off about an hour ago. And so I would be miserable. And then, come December, right? It gets dark at like 3:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, obviously you and I have talked, certainly I'll just speak for myself, ad nauseum about how, I'm so grateful I'm physically here.
Yeah.
But, so Monday, actually, I'm going to cruise down to Chumpon because I got this Air Asia thing, and I'm going to just hang out down there because I love vacationing Monday through Thursday. That's like, oh my God, nobody's around. But what about you? Like your camera, when are you going to strap that on your shoulder, and where's your first trip, man?
So that's that's a good question. And right now, the first plan trip, it looks like we're going to have a little bit of time off in November.
Okay.
Believe it or not. And that's going to be the next time I will have. I'm talking about the next time I take a trip. Like, for example, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I put out a video every day on my trip in Wahin, right? Yes. So, when I make a trip, when I take a trip, I put out the content. I've stopped putting out a lot of talking head content because I do so many live streams. I think they kind of intertwine with each other, but I also have some topics that I would rather cover on video to not have to deal with the immediate feedback, so that I could get my thoughts out, everything. I write a script if I have to, and just it's more relaxing, and usually winds up with a better message delivery system. So the camera, I'm really trying to get creative with it. Like what I have done is gotten creative with the picture side of it.
Okay.
Some of the pictures I've been putting up on my Instagram and on my my personal Facebook page.
Well, yeah, but you also use your members site
camera.
for that too, right?
I do, yes. My members get that.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of that.
Yep, members get some of those pictures, and I got to tell you, just being impressed with the camera. For a long time, I couldn't do a one camera system for pictures and video, but on this camera, Olympus finally put a dual phase auto detect system in there. So now they have contrast and they have a phase detect system, which makes it incredibly fast and so much better at autofocusing. That was like the Micro Four Thirds downfall. Forever was their autofocusing system, and this one seems to have pretty much conquered the problem for the most part. So,
so November. I mean, you can't, dude. That's a long way away before you like hit the beach next time. I mean, do you ever just like say, you know what? Okay, I'm done. Like, when do you get done work on Friday? Like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. What?
4:30. Yeah.
4:30. Okay. So, I mean, are you ever just like, okay, I got to do so? I mean, do you ever just like grab a bus at like 6 p.m. Bam.
So I burnt myself out early and on doing that when I first got here. Because I was only in Bangkok for about 6 weeks, and I went to Rayong to start teaching. And when I was in Rayong, there wasn't any kind of stuff going on there that I had much interest in. And a lot of people were talking to me about go to Pattaya and just hang out or whatever. Right. And I did and started recording while I was there. And that led me down a probably, solid 18 months of get off work on Friday afternoon, get on the motorbike, because I could drive the motorbike from where I was at in Rayong to Pattaya in about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
So I would drive up there, just enjoy the weekend, whatever. Sometimes I had meetups with subscribers there, and then I would come home. So I got burnt out on doing that. And then when I got to Bangkok, I didn't really realize just how far on the other side of Bangkok I was going to be. Like
it's only across the river. How far could it? Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's just, I'm a little on the outside here. It's much easier for me to take a taxi to Hua Hin than it is to Pattaya. But
really, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, Hua Hin, you're looking at that's like 3 hours from almost 3 hours from here, right?
Well, a friend of mine, when we went to Hua Hin, we split the cab. Yeah. And this was a regular taxi or whatever, and it was $1,700 a piece for us to go. 1,700 baht a piece.
3,400 baht to get to Hua Hin?
Yeah, exactly.
What's it cost you to get to Pattaya from here?
1,700 baht.
Yeah, exactly. Just for the cab, not per person.
Yeah, per person. Yeah. So,
wow.
But so here, my point is, to get down there and get back cost me 3,400 baht. Then I got to pay hotels, right?
Yeah.
Because some of my friends moved out. I was staying in their hotel many at a time. Totally. And people think it's funny that I'm a teacher and don't have any money, so I don't go record things. But the truth of the matter is, I can't just go out and blow all my savings on hotel rooms and videos. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. No, that's not sustainable.
That's why we have the travel fund on the channel, and guys commit to it. Some of them do, some of them don't. It's not a big deal, but I will say to this point, they have never let me down in terms of keeping enough money in there for me to be able to go places.
So let's talk about that, because if you guys don't know, like at the crawl there underneath the screen, there's this Doodly link. I have basically a short URL that he's going to get some soda that I use to make, links better. And so I know that you guys also put, in fact, I can see it up there, stuck through it up there on Jeremy's chat. So as far as like the link to his PayPal, but if you, in other words, if you can't click on a link and you want to remember something, just go to the Doodly link of Doodly / and it's dude.ly, just so you know, Doodly / PayPal. Because what's interesting is, so you're at $30, right? This weekend so far, or 20?
This weekend, 30.
30, okay.
This weekend, yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable because look at this. Many of the same guys.
I try not to make it unreasonable.
No, totally. And so to my point is, I think, I mean, we've been on this for an hour and you usually do about 2.5 hour live streams. Is that accurate? I think in the next hour. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I usually do about 1.5 hours live streams, but when I get on with you, sometimes it can go,
buckle up.
Yeah, pretty much, because it can go on for a while.
But guys, I think it's pretty reasonable for us to say, like, look, in the next hour, we should be able to get Jeremy like $70. I mean, look, and I'm not trying to do some sort of telethon thingy here and, buy real estate with no money down. But I think it's important that, like, you guys realize that, it takes money to live anywhere, but it only takes $70 to allow Jeremy to grab. Because, for example, I mean, you don't have to take a taxi down to Pattaya. I mean, I take the bus, dude, and it's awesome. Because you can't sit next to anybody.
You absolutely can take the bus. I've taken the bus. The only thing I have with taking the bus is it cost me about 400 baht to get to is it the Eastern Terminal?
Yeah, Ekamai. Is Ekamai closest to you? Or Mo Chit?
No, Mo Chit's way out of the way.
Okay, so Ekamai.
So Ekamai, yeah, and then I get on
400 baht to get to Ekamai.
Yes.
Yes. In what? In a Grab? In a taxi?
Yeah, in a taxi. Mm-hmm.
Why can't you take BTS?
That was what I was getting ready to say. I realized that, but because of the place I live, there are 3 transitions that I would have to. I haven't ridden the BTS since I've been back in Bangkok. There are 3.
I love the BTS.
I totally love the BTS. I mean, don't get me wrong. BTS MRT is freaking awesome, man.
Totally.
Awesome.
Well, that's how I met you where we met. Weren't you fairly close? I mean, I'm not going to divulge where we met, but I mean, like,
yeah.
You live fairly close to there. I walked to where we met from, I think the MRT.
Right. But you
around the corner.
You came in a different way, so it like the loop that it makes or whatever for me to get back into the city and to get on the BTS line that goes to Ekamai. I've got to make a hop there at the stadium, and then I've got to make another hop somewhere. There's one more transition I have to make to do that, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I know what I'll do. I'll do a dry run. I'll do a practice run. And then I tell myself, wait a minute. The only reason you're doing this is because you don't have time. Why are you going to you go do a practice run? You're going to make a video about doing a practice run to
I do.
To
that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know, so the bus down at Pattaya, which is an air-conditioned bus, and it's not brand new sometimes. Sometimes you get a really old one, but at the end of the day, they're functional and they're fairly clean. But they're 120 baht. They're like $4. And so if it's going to cost you like $12 to get to a bus that's going to cost $4, I mean, I can understand why you're like, dude, done. This is not. Taxi. Yeah, taxi.
Yeah, it's
door to door.
Door to door is so much, because you think about it. When I get to the bus station, I've either got to get a motorbike taxi or another kind of taxi.
Depends. I actually walk from the bus station all the way down the beach road, and then sometimes to the pier. I can't
do that with my bag full of everything I'll need for the weekend, plus the bag full of electronics. There's just that's just I would probably do some kind of handstand flip or something.
I don't know, dude. I mean, let's face it. If you were like, let's say to do, I don't know, more life. I got a backpack on the front. I got a backpack on the back. Now, and here's what's interesting. So I'm like walking like all the way up Pattaya North Road, right? All the way to the bus station because it's across from the macro. And I'm getting kind of warm. So I'm sweating, right? But of course, I got the backpack on the front. I got the backpack on the back. So I stop at like one of the PTTs, right? To like go to Amazon Coffee to get something. And then there's that area there where there's like one massage place after another. And it was funny because I took off my backpack and my shirt had like all these like sweat, blotches of like water on it. And it was awesome because after they saw that, not one of them asked me if they could give me a massage. I'm like, this is great. I've just discovered like the leper of massage. I'm like, all I got to do is like squirt myself down with some oil and no one will pester me, for getting a massage. But yeah,
Frank says to download Next Station. I may have to try that one too. Here's my Next Station. He says the app. I probably already have it and just have failed to use it recently.
Oh, okay.
But here's my overall arching thing about that, Mike, is for a round trip of $1,700. So 3,400 baht. You're looking at what, 110
bucks.
Yeah, about 110 bucks, right? That's for the ride down there and back. Round trip. That's now, fair. If you compare that to the cab that I got to take to get to the MRT, or not to the MRT, but if I got to take the MRT and then I get I'm counting the time here too, right? Yeah, because my time is limited. It's you know what I'm saying. So
I get it.
If I get off on a Friday afternoon, I've done this before when I lived in Rayon. Okay, I would get off on because I still had my apartment here in Bangkok. So what I would do on a Friday afternoon is I would get on the van at the bus station, like the Rocket minivans, and I would get on one of those for 150 baht, 120 baht, whatever, and it would bring me all the way to Bangkok, all the way to Ekamaya, and then I would stay right there next to Ekamaya. But it took 5.5 hours.
Yeah. I get that,
and that's not counting. That's from the bus station way out, almost in Bonchang and Rayon, right? So that's not counting bus station 1 to bus station 2, which is another 30 minutes. So by the time I get to Bangkok, it's 1 a.m. What am I going to do? Of course, go to sleep. I'm in my own apartment. I'm going to bed.
For sure.
So went to bed, get up the next day. What am I going to do? I get on the MRT. I go, I go around, make a little video here and there. And then sometimes you have to question whether or not it's even worth it to stay Saturday night because, now getting back is not that big of a deal. Going back to Rayon from Bangkok, that's not that much of a problem. You can do that via bus and all that other stuff in, 2.5 hours. Or sometimes even less. But my circumstances have changed is what I'm trying to say.
For sure.
For the time that it would take me to take a 150 baht bus, number one, I would wind up spending in total that one way roughly 800 to 900 baht one way, and then 800 to 900 baht on the way back. Right. So let's just say 8 and 8. We're talking about 1,600. So make it.
You're almost at the price of a taxi. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost at the price of a taxi anyway. So that's why and the huge benefit from that is my taxi driver. Like I use one company and I've got a couple drivers that I know, and they'll just say, what time do you want me to pick you up, and give me the address of where we're going. They're here an hour early usually.
I know, isn't that great? Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic, man. And Do more super chats for Jeremy's travel.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, that's a part of it, man.
Yeah, I love it. But I've been doing all of that stuff. Hey, James, good to see you, man. I just wanted to switch over to the comments for a second.
Do it, yeah. Get to some of yours. Yeah. I mean, I see Stuck's over there, and
Stuck's over there. He's got the PayPal link flowing, and I really appreciate you putting that out there, man. I had no idea you were going to do that, Mike, but I appreciate it.
Totally, man. Yeah.
Frank says the next station is the best app for all the train systems in Bangkok. I'll definitely take a look at that for sure. Eli says that's funny, and Eli says getting out of a massage by squirting down with water.
Yeah. Well, I could have peed my pants, but I wasn't that committed, you know.
Yeah. I got you. C says about half the clubs are open on Cowboy. Nice shows. I did not know that either. See, that's the other thing.
Really? Since when? That's interesting.
I didn't know that either.
We should go over there tonight. What if you only had like a really awesome camera that took 40 megapixel pictures? Someday.
That would be bad. But see,
no way that would get confiscated on Cowboy.
Yeah, no way. Got people talking about things that they can't talk about over here.
Well, yeah. If you need to do that, just come over to my channel. I got no bad.
Yeah. Go over there. That's I don't want to take any chances with some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I get.
No offense at all there, Roger. I was just too many keywords like we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, well, I mean, your guys know.
Yeah, they know. They know. And he didn't. I mean, he didn't deliberately type anything crazy, but I just you know how safe I am when it comes to the wording and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm more entrepreneurial. Let's just say that. You could argue unhealthy, but
no, I don't think. Hey, the King Leeway, good to see you.
Hey, man, what's going on?
I know it's awesome. You got the Cool Kids table and the DoMoreLife crew at the same time. That's a pretty good live stream.
Sure, yeah, for sure. Not bad, right?
But I've been telling people this for years. You know, I'm going to own my own business at some point. I'm going to be. You and I talked about this about financial freedom and that kind of thing
for sure.
You know, what I consider financially free and how little it would actually take for me to be comfortable and happy. But also at the same time, talking about Daniel, to answer your question, keywords are words that YouTube's AI just picks up, and if it clicks, if it does whatever it does to the AI, it'll put the monetization in a hold until you have a human review it. Basically, but yeah, I don't really. This is in the Philippines. I didn't have a job, and I had income, so I could do what you're doing, right? Not to the level you're doing it because I didn't have that much income, but
because you weren't that lazy.
Well, it's.
I don't do anything.
Yeah, it's not the laziness. It's the when you work here. A lot of people really don't understand that working here is just like working at home. Like it's a job.
For
you go
less
to
money.
work. Yeah, for less money. Like you go to work and you work just like you would at home, and you will probably work more hours because the Thais work long hours. I mean,
12-hour days usually.
In general. So, you know, you have to, when you come over here, you can't just come for the beaches and everything else. You got to come over here. If you're in a situation like I am, you got to come over here understanding that you're not going to be able to vacate every day. And what I'm doing, like by having this camera and keeping it new and fresh and that kind of thing, when I do have that 3-day weekend, or when I do have that 4-day weekend, or when I do have those 2 weeks off in November, oh my God.
Full tilt
you know,
boogie.
it's gonna. I'm buying 2 brand new memory cards. I've already got 2 batteries for the thing. It's just gonna be 100% like nonstop content. I don't even care. I don't even care if it's good content. It's just gonna be content, right? Yeah. I mean, if I'm sitting around eating, people can watch the food. I used to get a lot of views from
food videos,
food and Pattaya videos, and expat living seemed to be my that seems to be where
huge.
I get most of my views from.
So we were talking about this on another stream, and I did a little bit of discussion around this during a walk and talk. I was down at the beach in where the hell did I go? Kamala. And as far as like preparing, right? And we were doing a little bit of chat about that. And because, right now, well, first of all, it's effectively all you can do. You can't, and to be fair, it's not like you can like make a reservation. I said, right. One of the guys on my channel, he's like, hey, I'd really love to come over there in November. And it's like, yeah, absolutely. But, that's, I don't see it happening. Let me throw this out there and you can comment on it, Jeremy. People are not going to be able to vacation in Thailand until 2021. What do you think about that? You think that's mildly accurate?
I want to thank the $10 PayPaler that I got after the $20 PayPaler first. And I don't put him. This is a company, so I don't put it up. But that was a $10 PayPal. Thank you very, very, very much. So $10 closer. Now we're at 60.
Boom.
What do I think about
my statement? You will not be able to be a regular tourist, meaning you can't just come in here, stamp in, bam, and then leave until 2021.
I think that's probably a good. That's probably a good metric, because. However, I also think about that. I'm always like in the back churning. There's always A and B. Always, it's always going that way. And yep, that was the $10 I got. It just went off.
All right, awesome, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so you can see they're big. I like to show people because I don't like them to think I'm BSing them in here or whatever. But it's the name of a company. I don't want people to say here and think he's making plenty of money. He's got PayPal that, PayPal that. But traveling until 2021, I think it's good. 2020 just needs to die. It just needs to.
Yeah. Right. Well,
it just needs to go ahead and just say.
There's your next T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to be. By the way, merchandise on my Teespring store. I have masks, DoMoreLife mask, and I have a couple pictures on the mask. And
do you seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, let me go to that. You keep talking. I'm going to bring up a mask.
Okay, go ahead.
DoMoreLife mask.
I got a couple. I got I think 4 designs on there.
And one of the things that Patrick just asked is like, what do you mean by, in air quotes, vacation? So I told you a little bit about what I mean, meaning you stamp in or whatever. What's your take on that? What do you think vacation in Thailand? How do you
same thing.
Is it
same thing? Yeah, same thing. But what I think will happen is you'll be able to come in groups. I think Thailand is going to offer some sort of medical tourist package first and foremost, because
don't they already?
They are, but it's been only for Thais. It hasn't been for.
Got it.
Yeah, it hasn't been for foreigners yet. But because Thailand, I don't know if you guys know this, are now carrying the trying to think of how to put it and be polite about it. They are now carrying the stuff that causes every medical tourist in the world. Yeah, every medical tourist in the world, they want to go to. But anyway, Thailand's offering some stuff. Yeah, and they will put together, I believe, creatively healthy, natural medicine, vacation packages, blah, blah, something. And I think you'll see that done.
Yoga pants.
Yeah, yoga pants. I think you'll see that done because that way they're doing it in groups and not individuals. And then they will also have all of the they'll have all the information, all the tracking and tracing is together. There's some of my mask. Yes.
But look at the way that they display. They don't even have your full logo on this one. Well, these guys are jokers. Hold on.
Yeah, that one.
It's creased.
I know.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's
but there you go.
That's
you
one
can
of
see
the
it right there.
ones. Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
That's what it looks like when it comes out, and that comes in a bunch of different colors.
Nice, dude. All right, very cool. How many of these you sold? I guess
I haven't been over there and checked yet. I just created them because you made me the other week.
Yes,
which I'm very glad you did, by the way, because that is.
I want your logo on my mouth.
There's Teespring's wonderful. They really are. It's a good place to start. If you're selling merch. If you're a big time merch seller and you want to go print hundreds of millions of t-shirts and that kind of thing, then Teespring's not the way. Teespring's designed for people just like me that don't have the capacity financially nor literally to hold thousands of pieces of inventory, ship them out, that kind of thing. Teespring does. I
like this one, dude. This one's cool.
Yeah, I thought that one would be cool.
Travel. Yeah.
I thought that one would be cool, and they're all washable and stuff, man. You can get them in all those. See the colors at the bottom? You should be able to get them in all those colors.
That's pretty hip.
So I would think that, yeah.
Dude, can you imagine if there was like a DoMoreLife tour group, like a whole 20 guys just all of a sudden show up at immigration and they're all wearing these things?
That would be amazing.
They'd be like, DoMoreLife? What are you guys talking about?
That would be, I wonder how that translates in Thai. That would be
that's a good point.
I don't know how you got that to show up on the screen, but I appreciate it. That's a
it's just share a screen, right?
Yeah, you're the IT guy, so I'll leave it all to you.
No, you have you have StreamYard, right?
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
Well, right, but you have an account that you.
Oh yeah.
Broadcast from, yeah. It's pretty good. I will tell you that it holds the connection. Like when I'm doing these remote live streams on the beach, when 4G is questionable sometimes, it'll hold the connection, and that's been pretty neat. I've been able to do walk and talk live streams and stuff, so that's been pretty rad. But,
I did a lot of that back a couple years ago, and as I was doing the walk and talks, I bet that's when my channel really started to take off. Was like after the Pattaya video I did, I would remain there and talk about it and that kind of thing. And when I started doing the walk and talks up and down the beaches, they were it was a pretty popular thing. And
I like it. Plus, if you're doing them live, you could argue that it's good because people are getting to know you, right? But selfishly, for me, I love doing them live because then I get to know them. Because look, obviously I can talk forever, but the point is that when I pause and listen, that's when I really get to know people. Like I had no idea Patrick really wanted a gratitude attack mask. I should do that.
Right.
There's a lot of things I should do, And
right.
But all right, dude, the show is yours right now because I'm going to go for a quick break. So it's all you right now.
Well, you do your quick break, and I'll talk about something worth talking about, whatever that may be. Yeah, I like the TY Doorman says probably in September. Wait, he said sometime in the middle of August. I don't know. I guess we're talking about vacations coming back into Thailand still, and that's probably going to be the number one priority on many people's agenda. I would say that guys, listen, I could be completely wrong when I say this, because you just don't know what Thailand's going to do. Okay. There's, and the cool thing about it is it's okay to change your mind. Like, changing your mind's okay. That's why I don't really have a problem living here. A lot of people are like, why do they change this? Why do they change that? Why do they do this? Well, they do it because it's necessary for Thailand. And, if you've never been to this country, this is a country that you come to with a lot of humility and a lot of respect. And you earn the people's respect while you're here. And if you do that, you will have an excellent vacation. For talking about the elite visa, they are going to I think elite visas they're either already coming back or they're coming back very soon. One of the two. I haven't really kept up with it because I don't have an elite visa, but the elite visa is certainly a good option for anyone that wants to vacation in Thailand, part of the year, or who wants to come here and just enjoy the golf, enjoy the beaches, and enjoy the vacation part of it. The elite visa is a good experience for that, because it's basically like a really expensive tourist visa. It's about the basic one, 500,000 baht. So you're looking at about 12,500 USD, or is it closer to 15? I can't remember. Anyway, but you're looking at that. You get all the most of the services that they offer to the higher elite visa programs. There's like 6, I think. You can get a 1 million baht 10-year visa, and it'd go all the way up to a 2 million baht 10-year visa. But you can add family added onto that, and all kinds of stuff. So, but it's basically a tourist visa, and it's just a very high class tourist visa, so to speak. It's like I don't know exactly how to put it, but it's like it's like a MVP card, or not MVP, VIP card when you come over here to Thailand. If you can afford it, by all means get it. It's because you can never go really wrong with it. I don't think. I mean, if I could afford one and didn't have to worry about it, I would have one too. But for somebody like me who has to work, I'm not retired. I'm not any of those. I don't fit into any of the categories where I don't have to work yet. So for somebody like me that has to work, I could have an elite visa, but I'm still going to have to have an underlying non-B visa with a work permit, because the elite visa does not allow work. Just so that everyone's kind of clear on that. Check my comments over here. Whoa, William Latin says, great live stream, good info on cameras, and 2 great hosts. Thank you very much. I'm sure Mike appreciate that too. Prep Ford, it's good to see you, brother. Stuck, always good to see you. Robert Mack, you've been around since yesterday. And I really appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate that. I was hoping Rupert would stick around. I hope he's still around. But I hadn't seen him. Stuck in Florida says Robert Mack in Asia is still trying to figure out which way I want to go with it. I'm so far behind in the comments of you guys.
Are you really?
I'll probably, in my comment section, yeah. I'm not going to go back up and read the whole, you know what I'm saying? Not read the whole stream or whatever. There's just too many comments there. Just too many comments there. So I was just talking a little bit about the somebody mentioned who's coming in and who's coming out. Even if you have a diplomatic visa right now, I have a friend that has a diplomatic visa, and even if you have a diplomatic visa right now, Thailand has made it clear that they're not making any like super exceptions for you.
You still have to go through the whole process of going to you got to go to the consulate or embassy.
Yeah.
Get your certificate of entry, right? Based on fit to fly. And, it's interesting. I mean, I figured by now at least one of, the many Thai vloggers would have gone through that process and like showed you like, hey, this is what I had to do, whatever. But I don't know of anyone that's gotten in. I mean, even though there's like possibility, there's zero probability, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see that either. But one thing that needs to be mentioned after that's been said is if you're gonna stay here and if you're gonna try to get another kind of visa during this last period of amnesty, you need a letter from your embassy stating that either A, you can't come home, or B, you have some kind of medical reason where you must stay here in Thailand. That there has to be a reason for you to stay.
Yeah, and our embassy's not giving them out.
No. And to put a little icing on that, there's Thailand came out with the operation. I believe they called it Clear Out. Was the operation name Clear Out? Mm-hmm. They're going to minimize the number of foreigners over here for at least a brief period of time. Because
not just the number; it's based on their affluence, right?
Yeah, but
let's be honest. Yeah. And even the prime minister was like, "Look, we're going to, design this for, higher net worth." I mean, I'm not saying it's just elite visa people, right? But they seem to highlight the fact that they labeled the backpackers and the Chinese tour groups as that is the least desirable for them.
That's right, and that you make a good point, Mike. And they also said that if you could come over here and prove that you had stayed at a nice resort somewhere within the last year or something like that, if you could show proof of that you were basically that you were a big spender,
right?
Then you could come back. So I was like, I don't. Well, definitely won't be me coming back.
I mean, I can understand why they would do that, but again, I think while that, you could say, oh, you could focus on that as the negative. At the end of the day, the bottom line is what Jeremy said, which is Thailand's priority is their health. Yep. And, in my opinion, my judgment of that is that it is the most mature decision of any other country that I've seen. And arguably Vietnam is very similar. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard, I've heard this said before. The Asians play the long game is what I've heard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And this is thinking, look, we got to get our citizens, we got to keep them healthy. We have to get them healthy. We need to keep them healthy. And so therefore, like when all of this nonsense is over, which it will be someday, then we can all get back to work and we can make 12% of the world's tires and every single Mitsubishi part that is known to man and, and also rice and that sort of thing. But I mean, because like all of the factories are back now. It's not like Thailand's not producing. Yeah, 20% of GDP is a real bummer. But guess what? They still have the other 80.
That's right. If Thailand would have been, would have not shown the intestinal fortitude that they did, they could be getting 40% of GDP right now.
Yeah. Well, okay. So here's what's interesting, and I completely agree with his statement regarding, Thailand, like figuring stuff out, right? Like, I mean, whether you want to label it as they're going to pivot or they're flexible or they're, entrepreneur, whatever. The point is that I'm seeing them do that here, sort of in Bangkok. And what's interesting is like even just down on my soy, there were little restaurants and then they closed. And then a month ago, they are all now new restaurants, like brand new furniture, painting, lighting, seats, everything. And they're having these grand openings, I mean, I'm talking just like little, places, but places like Phuket. I mean, so to the 80%, apparently 80% of Phuket's revenue is tourism. Yeah. So they are, I mean, it is, it's, well, and we use the phrase ghost town, right? And now like the only time you go to a ghost town in the United States is when you go there with a tour group and they tell you about like how prosperous it used to be. And then of course the gold ran out, which is the wealthy tourists, quite frankly, the mass tourists, the mass of Russians, the mass of Chinese that would go to Phuket.
Oh man, and Chinese tour groups. I remember first getting here and just going to Pattaya and Bangkok, and the flag and air and tour groups. It was amazing.
You know what I've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to get like one of those like expanding, like antenna whip thingies, and like put a flag on it, and then just like walk through Walking Street and see
who follows you.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, look at all this! I got a whole factory of Chinese behind me. Screw Foxconn, we're making iPhones this afternoon. But like, I mean, I've always wanted. I just think that would be just so cool. But of course, now I can't do it. Hey, who was the guy that commented about Cowboy? About half the places being open in Cowboy? I want to actually, I'm curious about that because again, I've been there twice in my life, meaning like I walked down and like looked inside. One of them was like years ago by myself. And then the other time was probably like 2 or 3 years ago. And Gracie was like, so what are these places like? And I said, well, let's go to Cabo, because I mean, it's basically the Disneyland of red light districts, right? So I'm like, look, you're going to go there. There's going to be, so she looked around and of course, shocker. We like went into some places and she looked around. She says, okay, I guess, the girls. And then she sees like 4 or 5. She goes, oh my God, they're beautiful. I'm like, yeah, it's because they're men. They just spent the last 4 hours on their makeup along with their silicone. But the, but I mean, again, they're interesting. And there was the talk. And also I did observe during the day when I was going to these places, they're rebuilding, right? Yeah. And they're like, upgrading. Yeah. But to half of them, who's the guy that mentioned that?
I don't know who mentioned that. I was trying to come back through the
maybe he's still here and he'll identify again.
Yeah, but, maybe I'll come back in.
Because I mean, yeah, okay, they're open, but like, who's the clientele? I mean, there is no, but the only people, Bangkok is busy, but the only people in Bangkok are people working, and Thais don't go to Cowboy for God's sake,
No.
And
no.
And so I'm really, I mean, I guess, are they open prepping? I mean, the state of emergency is now until August 31st. So I'm not I'm not saying that person is being deceitful in any way. I'm just really curious what would motivate okay, hold on. Cowboy is dead. I was there a couple of nights ago. More than half are closed. So David, are you saying seriously that like half of the bars down there were open? I mean, I'm sure it was dead. I'm really surprised. I mean, if you were there on a Saturday, I get it. Like maybe they're like, look, if we don't open, but if we do open, we may make 2,000 baht, which is better than 0,000 baht. Okay, that's fine.
Right.
But I mean, everything's gone. I mean, yeah, there could be girls there and there could be, maybe good drink specials and stuff. But I mean, there's no ambiance. A couple of bars I went into, I was the only customer. Yeah, dude. And it's like, here's what's interesting about that. When I go to the beach and I'm the only customer on that beach, like this is my only beach, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself,
Me too.
Okay, how much money do I need to save so that when all this crap gets over, like next year at this time, I can just like pay some official to say, dude, if I give you 10,000 baht, will you just like clear this beach and make everyone wear masks and stand on the sidewalk? But that's Mike's theory of small business. But the when you're in an area like that and there's nobody there, I'm just like, this is weird. Like, dude, when I was walking down Beach Road about, I don't know, a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, whatever, whenever I went to Koh Larn and it was empty, it just felt weird. I mean, I was in you're there about a month ago, right?
No, I was in Pattaya like the week after the first stuff started over here. And
oh wow, okay, so that was a while ago.
Yeah, so everybody was clearing out then. I did a video on that. I was reading DC's comment, but
that was the time to be here.
like there were bars for sale, bars for sale, bars for sale.
Big time.
You know, and I keep, and people were like, "Oh, were you there during the daytime, dude? That's why there's nobody there." And I'm like, those signs that say for sale are going to be there day and night. You do
they're going to be at
that,
nighttime
right?
too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of a like moment, but at the same time, I went back and didn't shoot any video during the like the massive restriction, right? And I got to tell you, it was to the place that I knew as Pattaya. It was just unbelievable. I mean, I have some pictures that I'll probably never put up, but I have some pictures from that time I was there for 2 days. There was after this was when they had curfew. So yeah, so whatever time curfew was, X-nay. About an hour before curfew, nothing.
Right.
But everything was operating. See, this is why I think that bars coming back to those areas and certain clubs coming back. If you don't do something different, you're probably not going to have like you're not going to have the same clientele that you had last time. You're not going to make that kind of money. Here's why: because they figured out how to do it online. They figured out how to use Thai friendly and Tinder, and that's what I'm going to talk about in my members only video.
Right.
So,
but I mean, that's not new. I mean, shoot, dude, when I went to Pattaya for the first time too, like I was like, okay, bam, I'm going to install Tinder. I'm going to install Badoo. I'm going to go, you know, but so what do you mean by that?
It's not new to the girls, right?
Yeah.
But for some of the guys that come down there, they don't have it. Like, you were obviously an exception, but I'm saying for some of the guys that go there on the first time or whatever, or the guys that go there and don't really want to go out to a bar, don't really want to have to pay the bar or anything, right? That kind of thing. They just want to cuddle up in their hotel room and just have company for, you know, 2 or 3 days or whatever the case may be. You can do that with Tinder or Thai Friendly now, and you don't have to worry about, you know.
And your experience has been that the majority of guys, or at least many, or maybe your buddies, weren't doing that.
No, my buddies were. Yeah, my little circle there is they like to go out and have a good time, and I enjoy going out with them. I mean, I don't. You guys that don't know me, I don't drink or anything, but
can't relate.
yeah, but it's a different experience when you go out and you don't drink and that kind of thing. And personally, me personally, I like it better. I can't even remember the last time. It's been well over 9 years since I had drink, but I can remember what it's like to be drunk, and I can tell you right now, in a club with a bunch of pretty girls is not the place for this guy to be drunk, and that's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a few videos on my channel about my past as well, and I would absolutely concur with that. The world is better off with a sober Mike's, that's for sure. But you know, to that point, your buddies that go out there, I mean, do they do it excessively? I mean, do they drink excessively, and like you always got to be like the designated adult, the designated driver?
Occasionally,
they'll go
that
for
happens. Occasionally. Yeah. Well, what I do is, Mike, I've learned, and you are probably one of the only people that will understand this just because of our similar backgrounds. But what I do is I'll take a shot across their bow first, right? I'll just say, you're making us all look stupid. You realize that, right? Like I'll just say that. I'll say, I ain't I ain't mad at you. I'm just telling you. You make all of us, including yourself, look stupid. And we're not going to get anywhere if you keep doing this.
Usually I'm like, dude, you are making me look so good because all the girls hate you right now. And they're like, wait, you don't drink? What, you get this. Oh, you don't drink? Oh, you good man.
Oh, with the girl and the girls are coming up. So these guys that are sloppy drunk around me, the girls are all talking to me.
Yeah.
The guys are trying to talk. They're like, trying to carry on their swag conversation. Like, hey, baby, what's up, girl?
Loser.
You tonight? Me maybe. I don't know. And girls looking at me going, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Just starting the conversation. But what I really get to is at the point when it gets to that point, I'm just like, guys, I hope you have a great night. Bye. See you tomorrow. Call me.
Yeah. That's probably.
I leave them because I learned early in my situation that I couldn't control what other people did, no matter how much I wanted to, but I could remove myself from the situation, and that's exactly what I do many times.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been a while for me too, but I mean, obviously, it's been more than half my life. So, I mean, effectively, my whole adult life. I mean, I got sober at 24 and I'm 52. So it's kind of like, I have vague memories of it, but of course I'm a blackout drinker. So what I really have are memories of stories of what I did that my buddies would tell me the following morning.
Right.
Which was you basically kind of thing calling me saying, hey, dude, why'd you leave the bar so early last night? 'Cause Mike, you were an ass, Like, yeah, but, and, but yeah, that's a good, and well, cause the other thing too, is that, I mean, it's one thing to just, be silly or something like that. But I mean, there's sometimes in Pattaya, it depends where you are. There can be a fine line between just joking around and having a good time and being beat up by Thai people.
That fine line exists.
You don't want to walk
Pattaya more than any place I've been so far. And in order to counteract that myself, what I do is I don't try to joke when I'm there, because many of the girls that are in that area and the guys, they don't speak very good English, and that's understandable because we should speak their language. We're in their country; they don't have to speak ours. But I'm thinking that I don't joke with the girls or the guys that come by. I just smile a lot, say a lot of really nice things to everybody, make sure everybody is known that I appreciate their company and that kind of thing. Because if you say something jokingly in your Western manner, then I think you're probably you could run the risk of someone interpreting that the wrong way. And what I see in the newspapers, more and more as I watch this stuff is less beat downs and more dead people. I'm just being honest with you.
And I cut out there for a second, so I apologize. But you're talking about Pattaya primarily?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's too bad.
It is too bad, but that's been the stage, Mike. That's been, for the. I think we were talking about that the other day about the. You have the British man with a bag over his head, but hands tied behind his back, and that's suicide. And then you got there's just a whole list of things, and then they had. Well, I'm not going to go into that.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, you got to remember, right? I mean, if you consider what the majority of, certainly the connotation of that city is known for, right? Then you could argue, well, okay, that's going to happen. There's going to be edge cases, but there's always going to be someone that overdoes it. I am amazed. I mean, back when I was doing drugs, and it's almost 30 years ago, but I wouldn't even back then when I was a complete mess, I would never think, oh, you know what? I should just bring this into a third, into a Southeast Asian country. No. I mean, if I get thrown in jail in the United States, yeah, it would be horrible. But at least it's like, okay, well, wait a second. At least you guys are going to feed me. And I get that whole shower thing going on. But over here, my God, you might as well just be playing Russian roulette.
You just don't come. If you're going to bring anything with you,
totally.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. I mean, it's really not. Even if it's something that you feel is legal because you have some kind of rationale that you came up with in your head.
Medically supervised cocaine.
Yeah, because you're mentally supervising your cocaine.
Right.
Don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Don't do it, because you're going to go to jail for a long, long time. And so some of those cases carry the go in and never come out penalty. So,
well, yeah, especially if you enter Singapore,
oh my gosh.
They don't mess around.
Yeah, but you just can't fly around Southeast Asia, or much less travel around Thailand with stuff like this.
It's insanity.
If you get Thailand's new offerables, right? If you get those and you have a legitimate prescription from an actual doctor, be careful going to these clinics that are offering this stuff, guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, because these little clinic cards, I've seen guys with them, and they look like you could just make them at your house, with a printer and a
Kosan Road.
Yeah, one of those things. So, but if you have an actual prescription from a doctor, which I would venture to say, I've dealt with the medical system since I've been here the whole time. I would think it would not be a problem if you actually have a medical problem. I would think it would not be a problem for that. So, you can come over here and still, if you got to have something, then you can come over here. More than likely, you can find something, but don't. I mean, it's like, don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't, because if you want to think about the level of insanity here, okay? If you wouldn't do it at home, right? If you're an American or Canadian or whatever, and you're Western Australian, whatever, and you take chances doing stuff like that at home, and then you're like, oh yeah, I can get away with it. First of all, no, you can't. Secondly,
no.
If you get caught at home, the punishment's going to be severe. But Mike made a good point. At least you're going to get showered and fed and all that stuff, right? You come over here and try that crap, you might not eat for a week.
You're done. Yeah,
you're done. Yeah, you're absolutely completely done. Completely done. And you'll be done not only in Thailand, but probably throughout Southeast Asia, because I'm sure the ASEAN thing that's
they communicate.
wrapping itself to, they're going to be communicating more and more, is what I've been told. So I'm just saying, man, don't do that.
I like DC's question, actually, because Gracie and I noticed something like this here in Bangkok, and he says, he saw a short documentary about homeless Westerners in Pattaya. Have you guys seen that? I actually haven't seen that. I'll let you talk to that in a second. But Gracie and I mean, this is before like any of this nonsense really started. So let's say February, we're walking down Sukhumvit, and there was this clearly Western woman, and she was like sitting out on like a bucket or something like that, like those Home Depot buckets, you turn them upside down instead of, right in front of a 7-Eleven on like Sukhumvit 70, begging for money. And then we saw her like the next day and the next day. And I'm going, I mean, for some reason, it just seemed infinitely more offensive that it was like a Western woman. I don't know if I've personally interfaced or even seen maybe homeless Westerners in Pattaya. But again, you've spent a lot more time down there. Would you see them?
I have never seen a Western homeless person in Pattaya.
Yeah.
Sitting begging for money. What I have seen is backpackers down there with, playing their music and that kind of thing. So let me put this into perspective for you. It's illegal. All right.
So there's that.
There's that. If you're begging for money, sitting on the side of the road, you need a work permit for that, which you're not going to get. Okay. So you are technically working illegally. Number two, if you're playing music and you got your guitar case open and they're throwing bot in there, you need a work permit for that. You're not going to get it. So you're going to be doing you're doing things that are illegal. The backpackers almost pushed Thailand to the point where they started to make some major immigration changes. Had all this mess not happened right when it was, first starting, Thailand was like, considering doing something serious about all the backpackers and that kind of thing. And they've already put out this big statement that, like you said earlier, the tour groups and the backpackers,
right.
those two things that specifically the Chinese, they're not going to, this is not a priority for them.
Right.
And the reason is because if you're a backpacker that comes over here to make money by playing your guitar, or you try to be a tour guide, which, by the way, is one of the
never
jobs listed that you can never do.
Yeah.
All right. Ever. No work permit, no work permit. You can't do it. If you are that type of person, you're spitting a bad image. You are giving a bad image to the country that you come from and yourself. I would never go to another country and then beg the citizens of that country for money. That's just no. And you can call me an e-beggar all you want to. Look, we got $60 to go in my in my $100
Is that
weekend.
what we need? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'll put it out there myself. That's what we're looking for, and I keep the travel fund going, the whole 9 yards. But the bottom line is, I run this as a business, and or I'm learning to run this as a business.
Yeah,
and to run this as a business, it takes money. It takes money. It takes money to travel. It takes money to get out and do things. And I don't expect my subscribers and viewers and people like that to pay for everything. That's not what the travel fund's for. The travel fund is to make up the difference in what I can't pay. That's what the it's to make sure that I have enough out of my paycheck left that should something happen, my bike breaks down, I have to miss work for 2 days because I'm ill or something, whatever the case may be, then I've got the travel fund. I can still go out on the weekend, or I can go somewhere in Bangkok, or I can go do something else, or, that's what it's for. And, you can call me a beggar all you want to, but I have a work permit and I have a work permit that specifically relates to this. And I don't believe it's e-begging. I don't believe there's any nefarious act. My, for lack of a better term, soul would not allow me, the shame that I would feel would not allow me to put out this kind of information about, hey, you can become a channel member and get these features, or hey, we try to do $100 every weekend on PayPal on my channel. I would be overwhelmed with shame, and eventually at some point I would just have to break down. And I couldn't lie to people like that. I just couldn't do it. The shame would be too much, and then the proof would be in the pudding. They kept saying it got to the point when we were having this drive for this camera, right?
Yeah.
But to the point where people were saying, hey man, camera, we've been working at this for about a year, a little bit more. We're going to see a camera. So I went ahead and made the decision. Fair question, completely fair question.
Sure. Yeah.
And I went ahead and made the decision, even though I wanted to wait another month to see how things went financially for me.
Yeah.
I went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and take the money and buy the camera. And I did that purely for integrity. but the value of my integrity, right? Because if you don't keep your word, you're not worth anything. Totally. I mean, it's just not. And action, I can keep telling people we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We are, but the more I speak about it and the less I do it, the less people are going to believe me, because actions are everything. Words are just words.
That's action. I completely agree. The downside, right, is that you can't do anything. I mean, you can't really go anywhere. I mean, you can go places in Thailand, but obviously, they're a finite amount of time because of your work schedule. But I mean, even like, traveling to other countries, I mean, that's not happening. It's like, hey, I'm going to do a border run to Cambodia. Yeah, one time you're going to run across. Right. You're not getting back. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a big challenge. Now, are you finding that are you taking this time to like plan a lot? Like, in other words, you said, November, right? You've got 2 weeks out, because one of the things we talked about, and one of the reasons why I guess you didn't do the Asia Unlimited Pass thing, is you're like, I got to book that 21 days in advance. And yeah, that can be a challenge. But like, what are you just kind of coming up with it as the days go on? Or are you like, oh no, dude, I know exactly what I'm doing for 2 weeks in November? Because I don't know what I'm doing in November. It's hard to plan that far.
I would, in your words, I would submit to you that it is, it is almost impossible to plan what I'm going to do in November right now at the 1st of August. In Thailand, in the current situation I'm in, both with what's going on in the world and my job situation, because I have a particular, I work at a private school that does schooling very differently from most places.
Right.
And you never know what's going to happen there. I could get a big raise on the next contract. I don't know, but most likely there's going to be no raise, because the people who run that department are very they want to make sure let's say frugal. And that's just the way it is. So to me, what it comes down is it's like, I want it. If guys, listen to me, if you don't ever hear anything I ever say ever again, I just want you to know this, and I mean it. If I had the financial capacity to be able to not work, okay, you would get so much content and so many different, like, abstract content, shit that you've never heard from me before. Okay, like, and the travel content that would, you would either be so into actually doing more life, that would become your motto, and you would own a lot of merchandise, or you would hate my guts. One of the two, right? So once I get to that place where I'm financially secure enough to take on the role of full-time doing what I want to do with my life, which is travel, produce content, and be my own boss. That's pretty much it. That's it, simply. When that happens, and it will happen eventually. This is why I laugh at people that say, "Oh, he was going to do this, he was going to do that." It's not that I'm not going to do it. I just haven't done it yet.
There you go.
My schedule doesn't have anything to do with your schedule. Or I'm not talking to you, Mike. I'm just saying anybody. Like yours, because you wanted me to go to Phuket in April of last year. I couldn't go. You know what I mean?
It can't happen.
Yeah, it just can't happen. But I can guarantee you, all of you that are watching, when it does happen, it's gonna be it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be.
I think that's a really good description of responsibility, let's just say. And the reason that came to mind is we were talking about, have you ever seen the documentary about homeless people? And then DC asks if you have seen it, or whether you even, we haven't, but since we did, what do you think is the cause? And I think the cause, DC, is not having a appropriate budget. And I'm not just talking about financially. In other words, like, what's your emotional budget? What's your self-esteem account made out of? And,
exactly.
Can you even spell integrity? And again, I think that there is I don't know if it's completely synonymous, but I would argue that people that end up in Pattaya that are homeless, there was probably at least a little bit of their lifestyle that involved lying and cheating and not being upfront and basically not having integrity. I'm not saying that happens to every single one of them. But I think that maybe even quicker answer, what is the cause, is they ran out of money. And one of the things that I think is the biggest gotcha is watching YouTube videos where people do a monthly budget and thinking just because that person did that and displayed it on YouTube, that it could totally apply to you. And I'm talking about ones that are ridiculously low, like come over here and live on $1,000 a month. And, the first guy that I heard say it was Scott Mallon, which is like, yeah, you can survive, but you can't live. I mean, look, you can live on $1,000. Yeah, you can live on $1,000 a month in the United States, in Barstow, in a double wide. And, that may be a fine life for you if you're, I love driving my 74 Chevy Nova, but like, and I'm talking about things too, but I'm also talking about quality of life. Like, you're not going to be able to buy really decent food and vegetables and, that too. Okay. So I'm not just like being materialistic, but, your ability, your future, that sort of thing. And I think one of the things that I always talk about is not the cost of living. What's the cost of life? Because I can tell you right now, like, the cost of my life in August is going to be about 20 times my monthly cost of last month, because I am looking 4 years ahead at the kind of visa I'm going to have, the company I'm going to have, the board I'm going to be on, what I'm going to do as far as business expansion into Cambodia, Myanmar, into Indonesia, because it's such a massive. I mean, so, if I were to say like, okay, well, here's my cost of living in August. Yeah, it's about $9,000. No, come on, dude. I mean, but that's the cost of my life. I needed to have that money this month. So that 3.5 years from now, when Jeremy and I are doing these live streams, people are going to be like, what kind of visa do you have? And I'm like, well, I've had a 4-year visa because I planned it. I budgeted in 2020 for the visa that I want to have in 2023.
Right.
And guys that come over here that end up in Pattaya. Now, you could argue, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about this, because again, you were there more regularly. The behavior you engage in, even if you're not spending like 10,000 baht a night, and I've spent 10,000 baht a night in Pattaya. It's called your first month in Pattaya. Oh my God, how many candy stores are there for this kid?
That's right. That's
and then now if I go to Pattaya, I look at something, I'm like, I don't know, 160 baht for that. That's a little steep, I mean.
100%, dude. 100%. Hey, Scuba Tom, by the way, I just want to say hey to
I
him.
love Scuba Tom. Dude, have you seen his Jeep videos?
No, I haven't seen him in a while. He used to be hang around my channel a lot, and I just haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, good to see you, man. But please continue.
No, so what I wanted to do actually is give you the floor, because I wanted you to talk about, like, I mean, you're going there regularly, right? And obviously it allowed you to, after a while, do that very popular video, which is like, don't do this when you come to Pattaya.
Yeah.
And they could be like, well, maybe he had a bad experience. No, I've been here for the last 7 weekends in a row, and every 2 weeks, it's the same truckload of guys coming in doing this stupid stuff.
Yep.
Did you ever look at a guy to this point and say to yourself, man, that's the kind of guy that's going to end up homeless here in Pattaya because of this behavior? And if so, what was that?
100%. 100%. I've looked at guys before. So here's normally how I tell. Generally, I hang out with enough people or with people that have enough common sense that I don't have to worry about doing that, right? I don't have to worry about what they're going to do. But there are some people who believe, who just enjoy fallacy, and they not only fallacy, but they enjoy the fantasy in fallacy, and they come up with this scenario in their head of, oh, it won't be a problem, it's my vacation. I've got a 14-day trip planned, right?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
It gets better. So they get there and they're like, okay, I got a 14-day trip planned, because I get these people coming to my channel. Jeremy, how much do I need for Pattaya or Pattaya? And my question is, how much do you want to spend?
There you go.
What do you want to spend? Do not over budget. Do not spend more than your budget. I can tell you that, because you're going to leave. Let me put a whole scenario out there. What happens is, those kind of people that you're talking about, Mike, they will come into Pattaya, and whether it's their first, second, third, usually after about the third time, you kind of get the gist of things and you understand what's going on. But if it's your first, second, third time, especially if it's your first, you come in and you're like, Jesus Christ, I've landed in a virtual heaven of some kind,
right? They all like me.
Yeah, they all love me. She wants to be my wife.
I've never been this handsome in years.
Never. And so that's where they go. And then they're like, okay, so I budgeted 5,000 baht a day to spend for
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. And that 5,000 baht a day is for I've already covered my rent. I did what you told me, Jeremy. I covered my rent and so I got a place to stay, and I got a return ticket, and I got an onward ticket, and I did everything right, and I buzzed it. I got 5,000 baht a day, and I'm gonna look at this guy based on his personality, right? And I'm gonna say, you have what? Did you say 5,000 baht a day? Is that what you said? Yeah, and I said, what exactly do you plan on doing in Pattaya? And he's like, oh, I don't want to do any of the parasailing or any of that stuff. I just want to sleep all day and go out all night. And I'm like, okay. He's like, so what's the price of beer? And I just happen to, sometimes when I'm in a club or something, or if they've got specials or whatever, I'll take a picture so I can, send to people that are around there, hey, you can come here.
It's like 100 baht. Like a beer is like 100 baht. I don't even know.
You got the beer, and then you got the lady drink. So you got the So I tell him about this. I go out with this guy on the first night. He's like, man, I'm gonna take 10,000 with me, just in case. And then tomorrow night I won't spend that much money. And I'm like, I looked at him. This is no lie, Mike. I looked at him and I said, those are the most famous last words I've heard so many times. So he takes his 10,000, and we go out to a bar, and in 5 minutes he's got
friends,
5 or 6 girls, friends, trainers,
absolutely,
teaching them how to drink, and
well said. That's great.
And this is 8 o'clock at night. We just started to go out or whatever. And
overachiever.
Oh man. In 1 hour, he's completely plastered. And he's taking his trainer home for a session.
Right.
Yep. And learns that there are different lengths to sessions. And that he can have one session with one trainer, and then at the same day have another session.
Some are short, some are long.
Yeah. And so he comes back. He didn't come back. He called me and said, "Hey, I'm coming back out." Blah blah blah. Because I was already in bed, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Got out of bed, went with this guy. I said, "How much money have you spent so far?" He's like, I think like 12,000 or something. And I'm like, dude, what the did you just spend 12,000 baht on? And he's like, oh, well, you know, it was like that. They were all around the table and they all wanted to drink and
my arm.
Yeah, and then you know the trainer that I took back, she's got a sick kid, man, and you know
Buffalo.
I mean, I'm getting that, you know, the sick Buffalo stories. Those are the kind of people that will go to Pattaya and they will have the best vacation of their life for 3 days, and then the next, if they're on a 2-week vacation, so for the next 11 days, they're absolutely the most miserable people you'll ever meet in your life because they're stuck in a hotel. They better hope they have free breakfast because they may not have any money to get food throughout the day, and then they leave Pattaya, and they're like, this was the worst thing ever. I'm never going back there. Oh my God, the people are so bad. And I'm like, dude, you gotta control it up here. You have to be in control up here, you know. So if you don't come with the right mindset when you come to these places, then I mean, you're bound to be unsuccessful at whatever you were trying to do.
It's interesting. I again, back to the, you know, they do the videos. You can live on $1,000 a month, and you know and again, I'm not saying that's bad. I mean, a lot of these guys really are very comfortable living on that. Fine. But I have friends of mine that will watch those videos, and, you know, it's confirmation bias. They will only watch those videos. They won't watch a video where you talk about exactly what you talk about, but they'll watch the video. Oh, I can live over there in $1,000. And, you know, to me, honestly, I think that there's a part of like getting it out of your system that's necessary for various things. And Pattaya is definitely one of them.
Agreed.
So when my buddies, they're like, well, how much money should I bring? And I said, well, for 2 weeks, you should probably bring like $10,000, you know? And they're like, what? I said, because dude, here's the deal. If you're ever going to truly enjoy yourself for the whole thing, the reason I say 10 grand is because when you leave, you could potentially still have 7 grand in your pocket. But, you know, and again, to be fair, I usually only give that advice to people that are pretty, you know, kind of like heavy partiers. If there's guys that, you know, that are just like, let's say for the sake of argument, normies, right? To use a coined phrase, that can basically have a few drinks and put it down. So therefore, maybe if you're in Pattaya for the first time, you may have a few more drinks, but then you basically put it down. And you're going to have to go through the process of, oh my God, it was only this amount of money. It was only 2,000 baht. And, you know, I felt like a millionaire over here. So for whatever reason, it made me feel better to give her 3,000 baht because of her buffalo or because of her kids or because of whatever, or because there's disease or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's part of it. But again, you know, to Jeremy's point, man, you know, over budget and underspend.
Always.
And here's the other thing too. If you're not an international traveler and you're coming over here and maybe you don't even realize this, but you come over here and you think to you, and yeah, again, unconsciously, you behave as if you are back in the United States and the country that you're in is protecting you. Yeah.
You're done.
Don't have this delusion. Well, if I really screw up, I'll just call the U.S. Embassy. And I'm like, right. And they will laugh their ass off versus live there.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And I mean, dude, you're be an adult. But the point is that I think you can absolutely enjoy Pattaya to the level of excess that a lot of people, again, only see. In other words, like, you know, there's those guys like, what is it, like Bangkok 112 or something? I mean, he literally just takes the camera and he walks around. You have no clue whether it's a guy or a girl, right? And that's all you see. So you think to yourself, okay, all Pattaya is soy 6, soy, 8, soy 7, and then there's walking street.
Walking,
Yeah, exactly. All there is LK Metro. And I mean, again, like you've said so many times, I mean, there's so much more to Pattaya once you get east of Second Road.
Yeah, you're right. There's so much more to do. I mean, you can go down there and stay. I remember my first vacation. I stayed for a week in October. When I was there, recorded a lot of video, and yeah, I had a blast. I mean, now granted, this was a time when all of my friends were there with me, and we, we had the people that I hung out with either had a lot of experience in the city, or they lived in the city, or or that kind of thing. So I had no worry of any kind about them making some kind of really poor decision.
Bad choices. Yeah.
I have not, and I've made videos about this before. I've never ever left Pattaya. I've never lived there, but I've never left there brokenhearted or broke or sad or both. Right? I've made videos about that. Why? Because I know exactly how much money I can spend while I'm there. I know what I want to spend it on. I know why I'm going. And if I'm going to be there 5 days, I may be a little bit more relaxed with my budget. If I'm going to be there 6 days, even more relaxed. But if I'm only going to be there for the weekend, then I'm probably just shooting 2 videos and maybe go out at night once, one on Saturday night or something. Right. And I don't drink, so I'm just drinking either water or Coca-Cola when we go out to these places. And for me, it's cheap. It's not a big problem.
Yeah, and, exactly.
With the travel with travel fund, I keep plugging. It always helps. But I always tell those guys on the travel fund doesn't cover if I was a person that wanted to have a beer, right? It wouldn't cover that. It also wouldn't cover any extracurricular activities. Definitely wouldn't cover that. It just covers getting there and the stay there is what it covers. And then if I go anywhere, like if I do anything that costs any kind of significant amount of money, but like if we go to the temple, for example, like the Sanctuary of Truth, when I went to Pattaya on there. Yeah, of course I take that travel fund, because I'm making a video that's gonna
for sure
bring back the people, and that's just how I look at it.
I miss the Sanctuary of Truth. I haven't been there in a while. The last time Gracie and I were down near there, I had this business meeting at this giant data center that was like sort of inland over there in Chonburi. So we stayed north of Pattaya, but it was like we were kind of on the coast, and so from our hotel room we could see the Sanctuary of Truth, but it rained the whole time, 2 days straight. Because I'm like, we got to go check it out over there. I mean, it's really, really cool, and so that'll be good. I hope when she gets back, definitely we'll cruise down there and check that out.
That'd be so cool. Stuck in Florida just said, I have a friend that moved there with 100,000 USD and came home 3 years later, $60,000 in debt.
How did you? Oh, so he like lived off his credit cards, kind of thing. Because I'm like, it's not like you took out a loan from a Thai bank.
Yeah, you're not taking out loans from Thai banks without work permits and everything else. And even then, it's still hard. Very, very difficult to do. It's not an easy thing for sure.
As you were reading that, I thought to myself, okay, 100,000 3 years later. I thought, okay, so he came back broke. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah, he kind of overdid it for a little bit, but then he lived off of like 30,000 a year. I mean, that's pretty doable. But 60,000 in debt, my God. I would have just stayed here and like basically emailed I'm claiming bankruptcy.com and been like, sorry, dude, I'm not coming back. But
exactly.
Man, hopefully it wasn't because of taxes. I got a buddy who's super in debt with the IRS, and that is not fun. That is, I mean, you want to talk about something hanging out over your head. Oh,
yeah. That is
just absolutely brutal.
That's one thing I make sure I take care of, like instantly. This year, taxes were taken care of way before they were due, and the only taxes. See, I have Thai taxes, and then I have U.S. taxes, and I have to report my income over here to U.S. But I don't. fortunately, I don't have to pay anything on it.
I was going to say, you do FEIE. All you got is report it. You don't need to pay.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
No pays on that for the US, but for my YouTube AdSense earnings, I have to pay on that. Yeah. But luckily being able to travel and carry on the receipts and that kind of thing, and if I buy any kind of equipment like $2,000 camera, I get to write that stuff off, and so it's not really a big deal for me right now.
One of the questions I've always had about those beautiful, as well as technically excellent cameras, is the weight. Like, I mean, do you cruise around? I mean, again, you don't need to have a gimbal, so you don't have that weight, which is sweet. But like, do you carry that thing around, doing like right out in front of your face, and 20-minute video later, your arm's still good?
Yeah, because this camera, yes, there are cameras that you can't do that with, but this camera, yes, you could put on, especially if you can use a smaller prime lens. Like if I had the 12mm lens I can put on there. Yeah, it would be what's 24mm equivalent, but it would still be tiny. It would look like the 50mm that I had on there, and but even with the big zoom on there, I just literally carry the camera body is not, it probably weighs, I don't know, pound and a half.
Nice.
And then the zoom lens I have probably weighs 2 pounds, maybe.
I was gonna say the zoom lens probably is kind of heavy, right? Yeah, it's probably
because it's one of their pro versions. Anything that they have pro is weather sealed and all that stuff, and all that stuff. So my arm doesn't get tired.
I was just thinking about guys. I mean, because recently, I've subscribed to new YouTube channels of guys doing videos from Pattaya, and I'm like, wow, like it's still, and they're discovering it for the first time, sort of thing. Not it like as you preferred it, what I mean. And so then I think to myself, like, what else is there to do to video Pattaya, right? I mean, obviously, you're not going to do the red light district and that sort of thing. But have you done a parasailing video? I mean, I may just have missed it on your channel.
Yeah, I've done many of the, and to your first point, I don't subscribe to very many people that do. Well, I don't think I subscribe to anybody that shoots 100% about Pattaya all the time, because
what's the point?
I don't want their ideas to influence mine. Like when I go there, I give you my experience, right? So I have went with my friend Chuck, and we did bungee jumping there. I didn't bungee jump, but he did. I got to record all of it.
Why didn't you?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same reason I never jump out of an airplane with the parachute, because you would never get me to jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
Good airplane, yeah. I knew that was coming. I'm like, nice.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's the logical in me, but it was a very awesome thing to watch Chuck experience, because it really. He's Marine. He ex-Marine,
right.
and it, you could see that it boosted, it put him at a new level of confidence that he didn't have, and I was really impressed by that. I got to record it all, but the parasailing, I have done. That was done down at Jomtien Inn.
Okay.
That was done with my very first little camera that I bought, that I was going to try vlogging, and it ended up in the ocean. So,
but did it float? I mean, at least you got the footage, right?
No footage. It didn't float. It went straight to the bottom.
It
was an old GoPro that it didn't even have a water case on it.
Okay.
And it was just something somebody gave to me, and I was like, okay, I'll capture it on this, and then I was gonna do a voiceover, and it wasn't even me. I put a chest strap on and screwed the thing in, but the screw was so old from that GoPro, it just stripped off. In fact, the screw fell. I was up there looking around. I was trying to turn my chest a little bit, so everybody could see everything. And I turned this way, and I looked down because the GoPro went first. It went boom, 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 and then it was gone. And the screw follows it down to the water. They're behind each other. And I'm looking at my chest plate, and it's still got the mount there, but there's no GoPro.
No GoPro, dude. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but I've been to Nanook's Garden. I've been to just about every island out there off the coast of Pattaya. If you ever get a chance to go. There's so much more out there than Koh Larn.
But you can't do a ferry to those, right? You can only do speedboats.
Yeah, you got to get private boats. All you got to do is go see Rockman. Just go to the end of Beach Road before you get to Walking Street, and right before the beer garden, about 20 meters back up Beach Road. Rockman usually hangs out there. He give you a great deal, take you anywhere you want to go, feed you, all that good stuff.
Rockman, as in stone.
Rockman. Rockman. ROC. Rockman.
Good to know. All right, hold on. I'm going to take another break. It's all you now.
Well, I'll drink a Coke while you take a break. That's cool.
That's good to me.
Actually, I'll drink not drink. I'll go and catch up some comments over here. Let's see where to start. Stuck says, Pattaya will eat your soul if you can't control yourself. That's so true. So true. Hey, Ben Newton Chronicles Live. Good to see you. Yeah. Don't visit without self-control. It's a bad idea. Rupert says, sounds like you're talking about me. That's up to you, Rupert, whether or not you fit into that process or into that character. I have no idea, brother. Never met you. Would love to. Yeah, so some of the stuff that's on here, like Ben, some of the stuff you're talking about, try to clean it up just a little bit, please. Thank you very much, because
you motivated me.
Yeah. I motivated you to get a drink. Cool. Rupert says, just I cry after I have spent 10K USD in 3 weeks. 3 weeks? It's okay, man. Hey, crying's okay. It's all good. Let's see. Ed 8 says, I've been to Vegas and spent only $20. I wonder if I could make it down Pattaya's walking street with only 626 baht.
Yeah, 626. Yeah.
I wouldn't even go on walking street with 626 baht. Yeah, that's true, Ben. But yeah. T.Y. Doorman, just come over to subscribe. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's
see. His name is Jeremy.
Yes, my name is Jeremy. As I tell my students, my name is Tisha Jeremy.
Tisha? As opposed
Tisha.
to
No, I tell them teacher, but they always pronounce teacher Tisha.
Tisha. I like you.
Yeah. Stuck in Florida says, Ed H is not for me, but I'm not big into the party scene in Thailand. I spent about $2K a month while vacationing there. Yeah, Stuck in Florida, he's he comes from a different tree, not the same apple tree most of us come from. He likes to take it easy when he's over here. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I'll just bounce back over here to StreamYard and see where we're at.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at.
Mr. Doorman, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that, Jerry.
Oh, right on.
All right.
Yeah, Todd's really cool, actually. He'll send he sends me. There's about 2 or 3 guys, and interestingly enough, 2 of them are named Todd. That email me like links and that sort of thing, which is really helpful, guys, because I don't pay attention to Bangkok posts probably as much as I should. And oh, you know what? So that ding reminded me of something. Didn't you used to do like, or not necessarily you, but like your guys, didn't you used to have challenges? Like you would be like, look, dude, we got to do this $100. And so let's do that. Like I challenge you guys to get on Jeremy because we're going to do the $100 so that he can go on, the mighty trip. Because dude, I want to see some 60 megapixel camera shots. I mean, that is that's like IMAX.
You can definitely see them, and what we used to do is on the channel we would have certain people would come on and say, okay, I'll contribute. Because I don't like saying the word donations because I don't ever take it as a donation. I take it as a contribution because it goes into something that's going to work for both of us. Yeah. So what we would do, we would get on there, and then usually somebody like Jim would come on, and I don't know what happened to Jim, but I haven't seen him in a long time. So he would come on and he would say, okay, here's the first $10. Anybody,
look at that.
Anybody
Your
who's
new sub.
Where and then he would say,
you see the super chat?
No, I didn't.
Look at that. No. Yeah.
I got one.
You're Dr. Dorman, baby.
Todd Dorman. Why do you pronounce his name?
Well, okay, so I either call him Dorman or Todd. The T stands for Todd. He emails me occasionally, so you see the actual full name in the thing. But you can just call him Dorman.
Okay, cool. Mr. Dorman, thank you so very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Always greatly appreciated.
There's your 300 baht for walking street, buddy.
Yeah, I know, right? Ed H says there's nothing wrong with tips. Yeah, it's not. You're right, because it's if you're getting the content that you enjoy, then that makes all the difference in the world, in my opinion. Now back over at the let me get back to the live stream here. For some reason, I hadn't been able to pop out the window, Mike, but I'll worry about that later.
For YouTube or for the chat?
For the chat, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, easiest to just refresh the video on your site, and then you can just do a pop-out. But
what did you ask me? You asked me something, and I got so excited about having a subscriber and a super chat.
Well, actually, I distracted you, so that was my fault. The main thing that I said was talking about the super chat. So, unfortunately, I was
yeah. So what we would do was we would have, and these would all be done via PayPal, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people would come in. It used to be a bouncer. That's why they call him a doorman. Cool. You provide information. Awesome, man. Robert Mack says I subbed to Mike's channel. So you got a new sub, Mike.
Right on. Thank you very much, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
That is a service, Eddie says. I agree. So to your point, which is a very good point. There was one night we had a live stream. It lasted like 2 hours and 10 minutes. We made $645 one night. One night.
Nice work.
All on PayPal.
Yeah,
and it was because I had first you got to have listeners that have got that kind of money to throw around.
Yeah. Disposable income, sure.
Yeah. But what would happen? The challenges on the channel. So you would get like one of my subscribers or whatever, and they would say, "Here comes a challenge. Here's $10, and for everybody that when we get to 30, I'll put in another 10, or if we get to 30, I'll match that 30, or something like that." And some of the big rollers in there would be like, "Oh, you got 50, I got 100." And they would be kind of trying to, outdo each other. And it really, really kept me traveling for a while. And honest to God, the reason that I haven't been traveling really is due to more financial than anything else.
Sure.
I can force myself to get out somewhere and go do something.
Well, stuck in Florida seems to be like because I was wondering, like, what does that challenge mean? So it sounds like
getting ready to read that.
Yeah, please do.
He says, okay, a challenge. If JC gets 40 more in PayPal, I will do the other 20 to get him to 100. That's awesome, man.
Boom.
See, but that's exactly what we used to do. That's exactly what we used to do on the channel. And we were raking in, and then we started the just standard $100 weekend because didn't want anybody to feel out of place or whatever. And that's while it's desperately needed, I always try to play it down because I don't want people to think I'm just in this for the money. I'm in this for the money, but I'm in this far much more for the experience and for the end product, which is what I can provide to you guys.
Yeah, I would probably counter your I'm in it for the money a little bit with you're in it for, like you said, you're in it for the experience. The money is just a requirement. Like, I mean, I like apples, but they don't give it away for free at the market.
Exactly. The money is a necessity. It's a variable that I have to have, but it's not. I don't do this because I need the money. I do it because I absolutely love making content. That's what I love to do. Get a drink. Be right back.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. No, that's a really good point. You know, I mean, for me, it's a hobby. And, you know, it seems like right now the climate of YouTube, at least in my circle, meaning like some of the guys that are around my age. I mean, Jeremy's obviously younger than I am, but, you know, similar to my age, you know, semi-retired kind of thing. And, you know, the guys like Rike and that sort of thing, the guys that are in the Philippines. It seems like the trollness has kind of decreased a little bit, but by the same token, you know, I mean, I've got 1,700 subscribers now, but I really like 1,700 because, well, you even mentioned it before. You know, I don't really have any trolls,
right?
And obviously, I've got a creative way of dealing with it that is detrimental to them, but nonetheless, it's a one could argue it's not a boundary at all. It is a wall.
Right. Yeah, right. But, I wish I had that wall, just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
So that's a whole nother story. I understand.
Yeah, I get it. We'll have to do it. We'll have to do a financial challenge on that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
See how that goes. But
yeah, see how that goes.
But as we talk about money, you know, one of these guys he brought up, Joseph is bringing up the bot, and so is Tom over on my side, and I think I saw it over on your side too, as far as, you know, the bot coming down, it going up to like 42, you know, for the British pound. And, you know, I don't know about you, I'd love to hear your input on this. When I first came here, it was in 2013, the bot was at 29. And I thought, oh my God, this is amazing because I'd never been to Southeast Asia. And it was my first time in Pattaya. And every dollar that I gave to somebody, oh my God, they gave me like 29 baht. And quite frankly, because the world doesn't really do math really well, no one gave me 29 baht. They gave me 30 baht just because it was easier to do the math.
Right.
Well, then when it went up to like 31, 32, that sort of thing, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. Well, over the last, you know, several years, it's like, you know, people are, oh my God, but the bot went down so significantly and now tourism is down. Every day of my life in Thailand, it has been either 29 baht or more. And from my perspective, the bot is perfect for me because it's really rarely at 29 baht. It's always at, like, you know, more than that. Have you had the, what's that?
Gotta stop you 1 second.
Go ahead.
I won't put his whole name on here because I've never seen his whole name before, but Mr. James, that's a $40 PayPal. Right there,
dude. Look at that. Put it more towards the center than your face. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Go. Nice work.
$40. Good job, man. Thank you very much, James. I appreciate that. And thanks to Stuck in Florida for throwing that little challenge around because it just takes a spark from somebody, and things happen. You know what I mean? And I just love that so much. Please continue, Mike. I'm sorry, but thank you so much, James. Go ahead.
So, but to the money thing, right? I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, I kind of think in, like, as far as the conversion between like my life back there and then my life here in Thailand. So I do think in baht now that I'm over here. I still pretty much think in US dollars as well. I think in Fahrenheit, but I also think in kilos. So I'm only mildly metric. But yeah. So you've been, I mean, because you've been over here about 2 years, right?
2 years and a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, is the fluctuation of the bot, like, does that even, because for me it's irrelevant. It's like the price of gasoline back home. Oh my God, what are you gonna do? Like bargain with Exxon Mobil? You're either gonna buy the fuel for your car or you're not. You know,
here's the thing that I have with the bot. Like, I don't get to well, there's the challenge met real quick. So
from Stuck?
Stuck, yep. He did his part, and I definitely covered his name up.
That.
Okay,
so are you at 100?
So I'm at 100.
All right. Well, all we got to do now is double it.
Yeah, that's it.
Come on, Stuck. Focus, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you guys so very much for completing the weekend, because I'm gonna tell you, yesterday's financials started out rough, but we had a really good really good chat yesterday nonetheless, and I don't always do this expecting to hit every single goal, you know, but we had a good chat yesterday and we had a lot of fun. Hang on one second. Somebody says, what to Jeremy? I think you want to share adventure, but make it revenue neutral. Yeah. But yeah, I think, did he say that right, Mike?
Yes. In other words, he's not, he's basically complimenting you on your integrity. It's like, look, dude, I don't want $100 so I can go do a $5 adventure and take $95.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
So yes, that's
you are correct. You are 100% correct on that. Very good. And you just got a super chat, Mike.
Joseph, look at you. Oh man, thank you. Mike, one thing, no one else has a pigeon cam. Do you know about the pigeon cam, Jeremy?
No, what's the story behind pigeon cam? Hang on.
Oh, did you get more?
Got 10 more from.
Show it up, baby. Show it up.
Keep doing what you do as a teacher. You bring life to kids who may not have it at home.
Just awesome.
That's I don't know if he wants me to show his name or not, so I won't. But that's from a
more towards the center of your chest. There you go.
Very, very new person.
10. Very
$10.
Cool, dude. That's great.
Love it. Thank you so very much, sir. I appreciate that. That people don't understand how when they start kicking out these PayPals and other people start seeing the PayPals roll in, before you know it, you're sitting on $200 and you're like, holy shit, I can plan something.
Well, dude, here's the thing too, to the point of the whole exchange rate thing. So Joseph just gave me $5. That's 150 baht. Like, I can do a lot. Not only can I eat, but I could literally get to Jeremy. He and I could hang out and talk for whatever and have lunch. And then I could actually get back home.
That's right.
And along the way, if I forgot my damn mask, I could also buy it extra, you know? So I mean,
that's right.
So that's a lot, Joseph. So thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. And now, now again, I can also understand why Jeremy focuses on the PayPal for his donations, because while I completely understand the percentage that Alphabet, Google, YouTube takes to do all this, because, you know, global infrastructure to do free video streaming of infinite length and infinite upload size, I get that that's not free. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm happy to have that go there. But the nice thing about the PayPal, right, is that when you do send Jeremy $10, I mean, you're walking away with at least $9, right?
Yeah, because they only take 3%.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's great.
I mean, 3 versus 30, you know?
Yeah, it's mild delta. Yeah, that's a mild thing. But anyway, so back to what we were talking about. Do you think about the bot? Does the value of the bot, is it relevant to your life? You get paid in bot, so I mean,
I get paid in bot, but at the same time, the bot. See, mine is mine's set up for so I have my American account, and I have that's where all the AdSense rolls into. And that's how I keep like my Adobe subscriptions and all that stuff because it's registered over there. Mr. Doorman, thank you so much. He says I'm out so I can get up to watch F1 in the morning. Much appreciated, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for I really appreciate you subscribing and coming on. And check out whether or not you want to be a channel member sometime. Just go to join and it'll tell you all about it. But thank you so much. So the bot doesn't really like so there's only one bank that I know of that you can transfer cash from America into, and that's the Thai National Bank or whatever it is. I don't know.
What do you mean transfer into? You mean using the US ACH system?
No, using the US system with a routing number and that kind of thing.
So that used to be Bangkok Bank.
Bangkok Bank. That's it.
Pretty
Bangkok
much
Bank
since stopped doing that.
And
there was
exactly. So that screwed me on because I could transfer my money with basically just like $1 or $2 fee, right? I could transfer my money into that bank
or zero fee.
Or zero fee. I could transfer money into that bank and then I could split it to man.
He just channel membered. Look at this guy.
Man, channel member. Go to the community tab, man, and see what all's going on over there. And hopefully you'll enjoy some of the stuff. And I have some new stuff coming up too as well. So I really hope you'll enjoy that. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member, man. I really genuinely appreciate it. But let me just say real quick because I was going to type all this out. Stuck in Florida. Stuck in Florida. Thank you for being fucking awesome like you always are. James, thank you so much for meeting the challenge. You have no idea how much I appreciate that, man. And Mr. Doorman, for you coming on, hopping on like this has been awesome. Always want to thank my moderators because I love you guys so much. And just everybody in the chat that's had an opinion today or this sparked some conversation. You guys keep it rocking, and we're not done yet by any means. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Mike, tell me what I was talking about again.
No, so let's get to your member site actually, because it's funny because Dorman says Mike needs this. This is insane. This is how much YouTube really wants to generate revenue. I have 1.7K or I have 1,700 subs. I can have a membership. And I'm going,
no shit,
dude. It's like minimum 20,000, usually maybe 30,000. But
it was 30,000. It used to be 30,000.
Apparently, because of the live streams I've been doing, they're so long and there's so many watch hours that get added into that. But I struggle, and this has actually been kind of motivating for me now that you have it, and then you and I have talked about it and how you can like really interact with your guys and that sort of thing. But I don't, and so I'm like, well, I'm not just going to like turn it on and be like, okay, well, so now you get to give me $5 every month. Like, what is? But
you have to be able to offer something. Yeah,
absolutely. So
I struggle. Let me say my struggle with that, Mike. I struggled with. That's why I've never had a Patreon. I had a Patreon for like 4 days, and I was like, no, this ain't gonna work. And here's why. It's because I had to put so much more work into it. I didn't have time. I already didn't have the time that I was putting into the channel. So with these channel memberships, that's why I only offer one level, one price, one set of goals. I include everything in that one level. When you get a members only video, which I haven't put out yet since I started the members thing, but that was also the last thing that I told them I was going to do, which I plan on doing at some point in time today or during the week. It just depends. And that members only video is going to, you still have to understand that you're playing in the realm of Google, or YouTube. So you can't just go off and start saying whatever you want to. When you make it a members only video, but you be sure to tag everything that you talked about when you self-certify. I don't know if you self-certified for videos yet, but
No.
When you self-certify, they ask you all these questions, right? So if you said something about this, then make sure you mark that, because it doesn't matter if you get any ads. I mean, you're not going to get any. You shouldn't get any ads on it. No monetization, because it's for members that pay for it, right?
Correct.
So there should be no monetization on it anyway. You should be okay. However, you still have to abide by YouTube's community guidelines and their copyright system. Robert Mack, goodbye to you, sir. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we love you, man.
Thanks for coming by, buddy.
But that's why I was able to do the membership thing. And quite frankly, see you, man. Mr. Doorman, I appreciate you very, very much. He's got the peace fingers over there on me. And so I just want to say thank you again, and I will see you soon, I hope. So you have to really put yourself in this position, like, you know, number one, do I have something to offer right now that's worth $1.99 a month or $3.99 a month, that kind of thing. Sure. You know, you got to figure that out first. So what I did was pack a lot of little things into one price. Like that, my members get to vote on a lot of the topics, especially when I'm shooting video. But lately they've been doing the voting on the live streams. And so they get to vote on live stream topics. They also they're the ones receiving some of these special pictures, and some of the pictures from my past that I don't put on Instagram or whatever. They're getting some of those. I'm also status updating them more than I do my Facebook group that I have. You know, they get a little more information. They also have the ability to have an email address, that kind of thing. So it's you know, I just did some things, and I have one of my subscribers actually helps me with the email, does all that for me. So I don't even have to do any of that. And that's been a good way so far for me to have channel members and to kind of promote it. I mean, it's not expensive at $2.99 a month.
Is that what yours is? Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So the expectations, you know, can't be that high, and therefore I'm not going to let them down. And if I do, it's not going to be much, and it's not going to happen month after month anyway. Yeah, you know what I mean? So
that's true.
That they don't really have much to lose, and I don't have a lot. I don't have to take a lot of extra time to make sure that they get what they need.
That's pretty cool.
From the membership.
I remember when Joseph did the super chat, and thank you, Dana, for coming by. Dana's a great buddy of mine. He's also here in Bangkok, actually. And if he hasn't told you, Dana, you and I are soon to be on the same board. You're already on it, but I'm soon to be a board member, my friend. So luckily we'll get bored together. But to the pigeon cam thing that Joseph, you know, super chatted on. So I'm sitting here one day and I'm like using OBS and I'm on my other thing. And so I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to take my GoPro and I'm going to hook that up and throw it in with, you know, hook it up to USB. And I'm going to just put it out on the balcony and show my pool that I look over. And for whatever reason that day, like all these pigeons started cruising by. So the guys on the channel were like, dude, that's not a pool cam. It's a freaking pigeon cam. Like, you got it going on. What are you, living in a circus? And and so it's been the pigeon cam. So it's funny that Joseph says your pigeon cam comes up first in Google. I guess if you Google pigeon cam, which of course, you know, other than hamster.
Right.
It's probably
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's probably yeah. That's probably about
you pigeon. That's how you spell it. And but yeah, so it's funny because every now and then I would just like do, and so now it's funny because guys will be like, okay, dude, yeah, your live stream's cool, but where's the pigeon cam, bro? Like, we can't take. I'm like, yeah, but what about me? Like, I shaved today, you know, I got the shiny going on.
Right.
But you know what? Here's what,
by the way,
dude. Okay, I mean, I know this is maybe TMI, but like, if you don't shave, like within a day, you've got like a full beard.
I can literally grow. I can literally grow from, like, if I shaved all this today,
right? Yeah.
On Friday, it would all be back.
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, again, geez, Mike, you have less hair? Yes.
It gets aggravating because I have to, electronically trim it like 3 times a week just so I'm not walking around with a Fu Manchu.
Where they're like, wait, weren't you that homeless guy in Pattaya that did the goddamn documentary about? Like, dude, what's going on over there?
Exactly. Hey, Autumn in Asia. Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so I was going to say, dude, we're at like 3 hours, which is like, I don't know. I think this happens to you too. At like the first hour, a bunch of people show up. And then for some reason, it like seems to peak at hour 2. And then around hour 3, it dies out. And for me, I'm not sure but for me, my channel, and then we hover at about 20 guys and they just kind of hang out for the whole time.
Yeah, I've never done a live stream over 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So to that point, I mean, here's the deal. It seems like, we hit and surpassed your goal for the weekend.
Yes, we did.
Right?
Thank you. Woo.
And,
yes.
I mean, I'm not going to speak for you, but I had a really friggin' good time.
Oh, man, are you kidding? This might have to become some sort of tradition now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this will, because you always do the Saturday chats. Maybe this will be like the Sunday chat. I mean, who knows? But I'm not going to ride in your coattails. But anyway, so I'm just saying, I think at 3 hours, I mean, I would consider this a wild success. And maybe, this allows you to go out with your $12 million camera and take 60 million pixel pictures. And if you want to end it right now, I think now's a great time because we can go out on a really high note. What do you think?
Dude, I'm totally 100% with you. I've been watching the weather outside.
Oh, it's going to rain.
Yeah, it's going to rain. I don't think I'm going to be able to get out today, but there's a few things I needed to do anyway. And I got to tell you, man, this format, when you were talking to me about it last night, I was like, this shit's not going to work.
How is he going to connect 2 streams, Mike? Oh, my God. What time vending machine do you own?
2 live chats, 2 comments, 2 what? I was
okay, tech guy, go for it, Baldy. Yeah.
But you know what? I got to tell you, and not just because of the monetization. I mean, the monetary factor was definitely a plus, and I appreciate the hell out of it, guys. I really do. But the main thing is talking with somebody that's like-minded, and then having these people that come on that ask really good questions or make really good statements. You and I have channels that have those kinds of people.
God.
Thank God. Yes. In them. Now, I will still get trolled occasionally, but my moderators are really good at what they do. They've been doing it a long time, so they will, they'll handle business. Hey, there's Aztec. Is he still here? Or is he?
Yeah. Oh no, dude. He hangs out. He'll be sitting here. Same with Stuck. He'll be like, "Yeah, I'm like, so it's basically like 4:30 in the morning here in Florida, and I got to get up to go to work, so I got to go." I'm like, "Dude, get some sleep for God's sake." This is a funny comment from Gotta Love Thailand. These live streams are just too long. He's totally joking. This is Dave. He's actually over in Silom right now. He's over in Saladang, and then tomorrow he and I are actually going to cruise down to Chumpon on the AirAsia thing. But he always gives me crap. Like if I haven't done a live stream in 2 days, he's like, dude, what are you doing? When's your next live stream?
I used to get that. And I tell you, man, to be honest with you, with time frame being so short here, for me, these weekend live streams, they've been keeping me afloat. And the way we've done it today has been surprisingly not only efficient, but I think it's been informative, and I've had a great time. That's all I can say. I can't believe it's been 3 hours. That we've been we've been talking. It goes by so fast when I have or when I'm asked intelligent questions to respond to, or when
our guys
I got like-minded people out of both crowds that we can talk to. I just love it. So I'm good anytime you are, man. I just want to make sure I shut down in YouTube correctly so I don't lose the live stream.
So the short answer is don't worry about it. When I shut everything off and end the broadcast and then stop basically streaming to you on YouTube, that's that whole like auto stop, auto start thing. Wait, dude, did you Dude, you just got a new channel member from Joseph Pinto. He hopped over to your channel.
Right there. It just popped up, man. It just popped up. Joseph, welcome to the Do More Life family, my friend. Welcome. Good to see you.
Yeah.
I love having guys come over as channel members, man. That's awesome.
Cool. Right on. Well, that's a great way to end it, Joseph. Thanks for like peeking it, buddy. That's really
absolutely
cool.
Joseph, I really appreciate that. Todd, unfortunately, I got to remove your comment, brother. This over on mine because
I saw the V.
Yeah, and it's got the V word in there. But to answer your question, I haven't been with the CV stuff, so haven't had no need to thus far. But Joseph, man, that is awesome. And yeah, Stuck says, welcome, Joseph. And I am extremely glad to have you. And for all you new guys, this is why it's been so great, Mike, because we picked up, both of us picked up new people.
For sure.
Yeah, we both had a great one. So for the new guys that come to the channel over here, just know that on 9:15 Bangkok time AM every Saturday and 10:15 p.m. Friday night on the East Coast in America, I do a live stream. And that's usually our big live stream for the week. Usually and for channel members, you'll get to vote on the content. On Sundays, I usually do a live stream too, but the way this is working out, this may turn into a every other Sunday or every Sunday. I don't know what's going to happen.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, me and Mike will talk and we'll figure it out. But Ed H just said, Jeremy, here's the secret. Content is king, which is absolutely true. Engagement is queen. That is 100% true. So,
well said. That's good.
I just asked people, give the video a like, share it if you feel like it's a shareable video, and people on your social media would like it, and just come hang out, man. There's 700 plus videos on my channel, and you're more than welcome to dig into anything Philippines or anything Thailand thus far. And Mike has a tremendous load from all over the Thailand area here because he gets to vacation.
It's been I'm unemployed.
Yeah,
I got nothing else going on.
Yeah, if I had the money, I wish I would. If I had the money, so I wish I would be unemployed too. But it's coming, guys.
You also don't wish you were 52 like that. So
yeah, that's also true.
Pluses, minuses.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'm good, man, and I just wanted to say thanks, Mike, for putting this together. I really appreciate it, bro.
Great, man.
It's been wonderful. Joseph, thank you again. Welcome to the channel. And Mr. Doorman, welcome to the channel. And I guess, Mike, I will talk to you soon, brother, because this went so well. We're gonna have to do it again. And
I'm psyched for it, man.
Yeah. This went extraordinarily well. This is exactly the kind of boost that my channel needed, especially after yesterday.
That's good. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll end it, and then you can end it with your tagline on this whole thing. I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming here. It's Mike's from LiveMyAssOff.com saying, I hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, then there's a high likelihood that you don't have like a really cool buddy on this side. Wait, this side right here that you could hang out with on both social media, but also in real life. So I'm honored to know Jeremy from Do More Life. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jeremy. We can close it out.
Well, I'm most certainly honored to know Mike. Getting to know him has been good for my health, both mentally and emotionally. So that's been a very positive. He's really been a positive motivational person in my life, and I really appreciate that. And I can't wait to get to know him any better. So Do More Life. We're all about travel, fun, photography, and education. And I just want to remind you guys, no matter what you do today, find a way to do more life. That's
awesome. See you guys. Peace.
Peace out, guys.